Yes, yes, and more yeses. It's a Monday. It's Double Deuce, the 22nd of February. I couldn't be happier to be back in Studio Kitchen, Colorado with you as we regain with Juan Padró. Juan,
what's up, man?
It's good to see you.
Good to be here.
Man,
again.
I got a lot of thank yous for you. Holding it down while I was gone.
Yeah.
3 weeks I've been gone. You held it down for 2 weeks. And also have to thank Jay Parker. He did such a great job when we were gone, when I was gone too. And then also Dion Roberts from Rocky Mountain Food Report came and did a show as well. So
awesome.
You did such great work. Next segment, we're going to talk about that COVID Bandit coming up right now.
Awesome.
And Chef Troy Gard. Let's get right to it. First of all, Chef Troy Gard, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Look at that blue sky behind you.
You know what? Last week, when I think it was -4 degrees, we got on vacation rentals in Palm Springs, and we had to get out of there. And then we had such a great time that I flew back Saturday, grabbed the kids, and brought them back out on Sunday. And we're spending 2 weeks out here in Palm Springs.
It sounds like Ted Cruz.
I know, right?
except you're
not
Troy,
quite as bad as that.
Troy is now, he's an official Texan now, right? Because
you were allowed to leave, though, and well-deserved, too. What a year it's been, and it's good to see smiles on your face. And why not have a smile? I want you to set this up because we have the gentleman on with us. He's named endearingly the COVID Bandit.
Yes.
But you think of that name, and if you don't know anything about it, you're like, what, is he bringing us COVID? Is he taking it away?
Yeah.
What is it? But he joins us now, the two and only COVID Bandit. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you guys today?
Hey, we're good, too, and it's good to see you as well. Okay, Chef, would you set this up? Because I saw a post that you put on your Facebook, and when you get success stories like this that bring joy to everybody, you have to talk about it and you have to share it. So go ahead, sir.
You know what? I can't even believe there he is in the flesh. I have to thank you, sir. You just blew our staff away. Your kindness and generosity and your humility, and just I can't thank you enough. And I was out here with my wife and was getting blown up texts from staff members and managers, and it was like, holy cow! So I didn't know you were going to have him on today, Greg. You are a good.
That's all Jay Parker.
Detective work. And again, thank you, sir. I mean, my staff is just so ecstatic. And the people who have been helping out through this last pretty much year almost, so eternally grateful. I know Juan, can probably speak the same, but I'm kind of speechless. You just blew us all away, man. Thank you so much.
Blew you away with what, Chef? What did he do?
Oh, shit. I don't know if you guys had cash or credit card, but he dropped a ton of money, $200 per staff. I think the total was close to $6,800 or $7,000.
What?
And just came in, got out, and said, COVID sucks, and I want to help out you hardworking, front-of-the-line, amazing cooks, hosts, servers, bartenders, everybody. And just blew us out of the water. I mean, your generosity, giving cash like that to all the employees, they were just on cloud nine. Some were dancing, some were hugging each other, some were crying. It was awesome. The COVID Bandit, I heard about you, and then to my disarray, he shows up right at our restaurant at prime time, I think like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, when the restaurant was as full as we could have with 50% capacity.
Unbelievable.
Well, it was between you or a pizza joint, so you got the good flip of the coin.
Well, I'm glad. I hope I was, it doesn't matter, heads or tails, but I came out prevailing. And like I said, you're the way you've been doing this and getting around town and doing your thing and staying on the cover is even cooler and so amazing.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you're the first person with a Yankees hat on that I'm going to thank for anything, being a Red Sox fan. But that's a pretty amazing thing that you're doing. I can speak certainly for a lot of other folks in the industry. That didn't just uplift, Troy's group. I think just in general, it gave everybody a lift. Just seeing somebody going out there and caring and doing something like that. So, it has an impact far beyond the four walls of Troy's restaurant. So you should know that as well.
Well, my main message is that anybody can be the bandit. We're already dressed for the occasion, so all you have to do is just make that mental decision, and you're the bandit. I'd like to think I have 330 million fellow bandits already there here in the United States. So it just takes the thought and just also the wisdom. I've had every job in a restaurant, and there's a long chain of people besides the person standing by the side of the table to put that smile on your face. That's derived from a lot of people. Troy, I have to tell you, though, I had no idea, seriously, where I was going.
You didn't?
Pardon me?
Wow. You did not at all.
No, a friend had just recommended it to me at lunch, and I said, okay, and that was it. I don't research. I just go by word of mouth. So a friend mentioned it at lunch, and we were talking about pizza. I said, I just had pizza yesterday. So I didn't have any idea what I was going into. And I will say, though, you have a COVID Bandit award. I had no idea your staff was that large, but
I know. That's what I thought. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, does this guy know how many employees we have working at this time?
I didn't, but I just summed it up in my head. I go, well, I guess this is kind of a diet plan for me, because I'm going to just say this is like 5 restaurants in one. So,
now, I may have missed it because I was just, so much going on in my head, but what restaurant was this?
It was Garden Grace. He did it on Saturday night. Saturday or Friday night, one of those. Sunday night?
Friday night.
I saw it on Sunday, so it had to have been Saturday, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could, no.
How much wine did you have, Bandit?
Bandit doesn't drink.
All right, even better.
Oh, yes.
Consciously making these decisions. Amazing.
That's right. So, we have to ask a few questions. This isn't the first place that you've done that, and if you're just tuning in right now, we've got Chef Troy Gard on with us right now, Juan Padró co-hosting with me. We've got the COVID Bandit, we're a gem of our community.
Yeah.
He's ours. Thank you so much. How long have you been doing this? Why have you been doing this? And we'll ask a few more questions, but let's just start there.
Well, I started when COVID started, but I didn't have the moniker of COVID Bandit. One restaurant owner gave that to me. Came up, he said, "Sir, do you realize you're the first person in my 30-plus career to tip the servers, not the servers, but the dishwashers, the bus people, the hostess people?" And I said, well, no, I didn't. And I just said, I know I've had those jobs and I never got a tip. And so common sense tells me that the cooks and servers aren't the only ones without a job. So I just thought that was something that.
And you said you were in the restaurant industry, so you know what it takes from top to bottom, side to side, what it takes to do that type of job. And just like all the healthcare workers and grocery store people and, the servers out there and the people in the restaurants, I mean, we love what we do. We're putting ourselves out there every day. So thanks for recognizing that and really going seriously above and beyond and just blowing everyone out of the water. Your generosity is just amazing. This shit's amazing.
Is this a monthly thing? Is it a weekly thing? What is it?
It's
when he's feeling
you never know. I literally never know. There's no plan. And I never know where I'm going to be in the United States. Like I say, the Bandit name, I got semi-busted only, what was it, guys, like 4 weeks ago.
We had you on the
So
show.
although it's new news to you, it's old hat to me. But the Bandit has hit virtually coast to coast.
That's awesome.
My typical deal is just I dart before they even know what happens, and I'm gone.
That's fantastic.
It doesn't matter who I am, what I do, where I live. It's not the message. It's not the point.
Dude, this guy's like Batman and Superman all rolled up into one, man.
I know. In a flannel.
So you don't live in Colorado?
No,
Where do you live?
everywhere.
Somewhere on the East Coast, it looks with the Yankees hat, but like, yeah.
He truly is a superhero. That's fantastic.
Now I have some superhero. I'm a hero of the Yankees, and old school Yankees. And but I have lived on the East Coast. I've lived on the West Coast. I've lived in L.A., up and down California. I've lived on the East Coast. I've lived in the Midwest. You can probably tell by my accent. I get around.
All right, I'm looking for clues in the background there. He's got a nice plant there. Are you
Sunshine.
at home? Are you at
Oh,
home?
no, I'm not.
You're not at home.
The bandit's not stupid. Are you kidding me?
All right. All right, total classless questions, but somebody's thinking it. How much?
Bandit, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but Bandit has been fortunate to have some bandito friends that put me up when I traveled.
That's awesome.
And I'd like to do a shout out to them because they helped me do this, and I can go and do my thing, and whether I'm coming down out of the high country in Middle America here or East or West Coast or whatever, I hope to be heading to the West Coast soon.
No, come on back here. Come on back here to Denver.
You can't beat Colorado, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd like to make a little announcement and see if Troy could help me out.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
I've come up with an idea to do something like the Colorado Cook-Off, but have a spin on it. You know, everybody does these cooking shows, this and that. Well, I'd like to also have some fun and games with the dishwashers, the people that bring the meals to the table, the expediters, the hostess. I want to get a hostess on a hostess stand and see how many reservations she can take in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. See how many dishes a dishwasher can do. Have a challenge at that. We have prizes, and of course we get all your good cooks out there, and just come up with something creative, and but include everybody. If it doesn't include anybody, it's you know, I just think it's more fun.
I think that's a great idea.
We need all levels.
The restaurant
I
game.
think Juan's shaking his head saying, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. This dilemma happens usually weekly, if not monthly for us. It's like we want to run contests and have prizes and let people win stuff, but it always seems it's always front of the house. Like, you know what? A great server makes a fantastic tip, not just on their service, but was that steak or burger or salad or everything prepared precisely? Was that dishwasher on it, the manager, the host, the busser? You're right. It takes a team.
Sure does. Yeah.
Right. That's my history, my family history. I've learned from day one is to be a team player. It takes a village. It takes a team. Everyone has their strengths. Everyone has their weaknesses, just as I do.
Well,
But
we have to
together
thank
we
you
can
again.
pull it together. And how fun would that be up in the beautiful Rockies and have? I can just imagine. I'm a very creative person. I can just imagine all types of fun and get people out in the fresh air, get out of the cities and the COVID mess. I'd really like to drop the COVID part of the bandit, because to me that has more of a negative connotation than bandit.
Well, when we had you on the show last, sir, I think you were in Estes Park, Colorado, and there was another restaurant that you touched there, and some young ladies came on the show and were just astonished by your generosity as well. And I mentioned that point, the COVID Bandit seemed a little evasive to me at the time, so Jay and I brainstormed some names. One of the names that I came up with was, Jay, what was the name that you came up with?
Oh, God.
Mine was the Daymaker, because you make people's days, you know? And I think if we do a collective brainstorm together, we could come up with a pretty cool name for you. But one thing does stand right now. You're a hero in our books, and it's just one of those things. So when you can bring joy to anybody's life, and you've done that, so we can't thank you enough.
Well, it's not about me. It's about people in need, and it's just flipping the light switch in your head and taking action. I'm kind of sick of the news and hearing a lot of opinions and never see any action. So, you know, if anybody's been around the block once or twice, if you want to get something done, you go do it yourself. Just start.
Yeah. Here.
Well, I love it. And I have to say, Mr. Bandit, COVID, CV, or CB, I posted that on Saturday night late, like around 9 o'clock whenever you hit. And I think by morning time, there was already like 1,000 comments or posts or shares, or it was like taking off. I had a buddy yesterday from Florida said, "Oh my God, it's like getting some traction." And I just think that's so incredible. Obviously, you don't want to take fame and claim to it, which I admire as well. But you know what? These acts of kindness, I think, get into people's minds, and it's like, okay, I don't have 7,000 to give, but you know what? I have a thank you. I have a pat on the back. I have another extra $1. I have things, you know, that I can do personally to make an impact, and that's to me one of the most important things too, because I read some of these comments, not all of them, there were so many, but that's what people were so excited for. So thank you for instilling goodness. And I'm just lost for words because you were so amazing. So just thank generous, you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the nice words, not needed at all. I had no idea that there was that kind of response. When I tell you in the backcountry, I mean, I'm off the grid. I have no water.
Secret.
I live off a wood stove.
So you live with Ted Nugent up north, huh?
No, I don't. No.
You know what I mean. He lives off the land, he says. I'm a rock and roller, so I had to throw that in.
Well, I'm sorry, Ted. I don't follow you that close.
Hey, what did you eat at Garden Grace? Before we let you go, what did you eat at Garden Grace?
Oh, my gosh. They have this, it's just from the recommendations. Is it smoked squid?
Oh, we had the grilled octopus.
Grilled octopus. That's right. Grilled octopus. It was so good. I'm a big sushi fan, and I thought, well, we'll see. And, oh, my God, I was just shocked. In fact, my friend and I had taken him out to dinner. We were celebrating his 16th year of sobriety. And so we ordered 2 more rounds of it.
Did you really?
Appetizers. It was fantastic.
That's great.
That's awesome.
And then we had their special. He had a bone-in fillet. Oh, I didn't even know there was such a thing. I fried chicken drumsticks. Yeah. Oh my God, it's fabulous. But you know, I'll do anything. I fried chicken drumsticks I had in the freezer last night. Sprinkled a little Lori seasoning salt on there. I'm a happy camper. So,
all right, Mr. Bandit, thank you so much. We're gonna catch up with you soon, I hope. keep doing your thing and rock and roll. I hope people take your lead.
And stay in touch with your ideas. We'll throw them around and see if we can make some of that stuff happen for you.
No kidding.
You
All
deserve.
right, real quick, please.
Yes.
I've got a website thing coming out. If anybody wants to help out the COVID Bandit, because the Bandit's only one guy, but it will be a total transparent thing. If people want to help do what I do, and they're scared to go out to a restaurant still or whatever, and the COVID's coast to coast, and so they can help that way too. And so I will be announcing a website they can donate to if they want to, and it just goes straight through.
Is the website made?
No, I need help doing it.
You need help. Okay, listen, we'll talk offline, but that's a great idea, too, because I think a lot of people would like to get behind.
That's awesome,
that
man.
push.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, more announcements coming, too. Have me back.
All right.
For sure, we will. Troy, you stick around 1 second. Thank you, Bandit. We'll see you later. I want to give
Thanks, COVID Bandit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Thank
Troy.
you, sir.
Thank
Chef,
you.
it's good to see you, too, and obviously with the looks behind it, you're not in Denver, Colorado.
No.
Which is fantastic, and it's good to see that cool hat that you have. I
That's
need
a
one
Los
of those.
Chingones hat, I think.
I know. It's really cool. Yeah. What's going on with you?
I was at Starbucks yesterday on my way to the airport, and my kids always eat the sausage, egg, and cheddar sandwich. I had to go to 3 different Starbucks, and then finally one person said, hey, there's a storm in Texas, so we can't get our traditional sandwiches. So poor little guys, we couldn't eat at Starbucks. But one of the ladies said, oh, Los Chingones, I've been there. And then so I started talking to her and gave her a gift card, and it's super cool that, they had been to the restaurant. But
Sweet.
No haircut still, huh?
yeah, not yet.
Yeah. Any updates on
I
what's
think
going on?
it's been about 10 months.
What's an update on what's going on with the restaurants? And I know you want to take off and go have some relaxing leisure time with the family.
Yeah, well, obviously getting back open early January helped out, and then the 50% was, I'm gonna happily say for our group has been amazing, and then just waiting to get to springtime, and we have put in for our PPP second round. We should be getting that in the next week or two, so that'll be good. And Houston obviously got nailed last week, so we had to close over Valentine's Day weekend, so that was kind of a bummer. And then some of our staff obviously lost heat and water, and that sucked. So we worked down there, and we handed out meals to hospitality people, restaurants, hotels, and then we also gave to a couple of the food banks. And, we had all the food sitting in our fridge. Might as well get it out to people who need it. So that's what we did.
Man, it's never a dull moment, huh?
I know, right? 300 reservations. Boom, canceled over Valentine's Day weekend.
That's insane.
Such a bummer.
That's insane.
But more than that, the city of Houston and Dallas and Texas just got rocked. I mean, they got knocked on their butt, and I hope they're doing all right over there.
How about downtown Denver? I know a lot of people have reformed their habits and have started going elsewhere. Are you seeing that people are getting back down as far as Garden Grace and really embracing the reopening and larger capacity?
I'm going to have to say for us personally, everyone's been very supportive and helpful when it's been zero seating. Obviously, we can only do so much takeout. It seems like when we do zero seating, we do pretty good on takeout, but our bread and butter is dining in. So when 25 and 50% hit, we usually do pretty well at all the restaurants. And some of the restaurants, and I'm sure Juan will say the same thing, have exceeded our expectations, if not been on par to 2019 numbers. It's been crazy.
Okay. Well, there you go. Looking forward to seeing you come back. And
people are spending a little bit more. People are going out a little bit more. I mean, not everyone, right? I would say half the people are still staying home. half are going out, but the half the people that are going out, they're what I've seen, hugely supportive and visiting us. I just had, someone text me last night. They went to Garden Grace 3 times last week, so obviously they live in the vicinity, but, that's awesome.
People are ready. I'm ready too. Thanks for taking the time out for us today.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you, Troy. I'm glad things are
going.
going.
Yeah, it was good to Juan. I'm glad, Greg, you got a break, and it was great seeing Juan. I watched some of those videos. Like I said, Juan, you're like the next Bob Barker, man. This guy's you're a pro. You're a natural, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay, I need a little more practice, but we'll see if I have enough time. It's not like I'm busy. I'm not busy. You know
I know, right?
It's like one thing after another.
Well,
right?
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Juan. Thanks to everyone listening, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep keeping the faith and supporting everyone, man. It's awesome to see. And hopefully, I've got my good days and bad days, but
someone behind you is ready to party.
You're getting photobombed.
Someone's ready to party behind you.
Oh, yeah?
He's ready to party.
Yeah, we got all the kids.
Wait, are you going to be cooking?
Yeah, I got the grill tonight. We're going to go get some
good.
There's a store here called Jensen's, and they've got awesome seafood, and I saw some killer swordfish steaks there. I'm going to go buy some of those.
Nice. Enjoy yourself, Chef. We'll see you soon.
See you later, man. Be good. Enjoy
Take
your
care,
vacation.
guys.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Later.
COVID Bandit.
That's pretty amazing.
Just
coast to
generosity,
coast.
I thought he was a local guy.
I did too. Yeah.
But I don't think he knew what he was in for when he said $200 per employee, because you think about, is it going to be a pizzeria tonight?
That was my thought. Like a pizzeria or Garden Grace. I'm like, ooh, that was an expensive decision.
Yeah, I don't know whether he knew.
You know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't sound like money was the object. It's more, just trying to do the right thing and lift people up. And, we need a lot more people like that. And it's not necessarily always just about money either. Yeah. It's just about doing the right thing, saying thank you, holding the door open. Just having nice things to say and just not being an asshole.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes it's just not being an ass.
That's right. The no asshole rule.
That's all 100%. You got to do. All right, I'm so happy Juan Padró's here with us. We still have a big full show to go.
Let's do it.
We've got the Hesher food truck. Do you know what a Hesher is?
No, what is that?
We're going to ask him. Chef Jeff Gebott's here with us as well. And then we have Rob Bessett. And Rob brought us some delicious Ursula beer, which we're enjoying right now.
I'm drinking beer, which
Cheers
I rarely do.
And then the Culinary Quick Start guys are here.
Cool.
They're
I know those guys.
Do you like do you know how to make the perfect omelet? Somehow I think you probably do.
I would tell you that I think I make a pretty good omelet. I am allergic to eggs now, so it's been a while, but I like a soft scramble a little bit more, but let's see.
Okay. And then, gosh, it's good to be back. You did such a wonderful job when I was gone. I want to come back because I watched every minute of every show that you did while I was gone. It was just great programming. It really did. And I would, say it would be a disservice to you and everybody else to say you held it down. No, you elevated the show, which was fantastic.
I appreciate that. I'm not sure that's true.
Well, there's a few things that I want to ask you about from some of the programming. We'll do that when we get back, and then we'll jump on this food truck.
I can't wait because I'm hungry.
You're hungry. Okay,
yes.
cool.
And Jeff can cook. That I know.
Our resident doctor is going to join us to wrap up the show.
I love it.
And Dr. Blanchette from Boulder Internal Medicine, Dr. Blanchette will join us. And I've got some questions to ask because I think there's some good news that's been coming out here, and I want to just make sure that we're not dreaming, so I'll pinch you when Dr. Blanchette's on. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come right back. Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Greg Hollenbach, Juan Padró. We'll be back in a flash. The Modern Eater Show continues.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? This is Brother Luck from Lucky Dumpling, 4 by Brother Luck in Colorado Springs, and I am rocking with the Modern Eater. You're watching them, you're tasting them, you're knowing everything there is to know about Colorado.
Hi, Charlie from Brews Beers here. Our new Belgian Abbey 4-pack is a mixed package of the 4 core beers made in Abbey and Trappist breweries in Belgium. So we have a single, a double, a triple, and a quadruple in one package. Now, quadruples are the emperors of Belgian monastery ales. They're dark in color, with a dense tan head and alcohol ranging from 8 to 12%, so they're pretty strong. Quadruples are very rich and complex with big maltiness, spice, and flavors of raisins, cherries, and plums. Alcohol is apparent in the mouthfeel, but not overwhelming, even at 10.5% ABV. so the finish is long, complex, and dry, and they're great beers anytime, by themselves or with hearty foods. Pick up your Abbey 4-pack at either Brews location, 67th and Pecos, or at Colfax in York, and at fine liquor stores throughout the Denver metro area. Take home some Belgian-style badassery today.
You're watching The Modern Eater, and now back to the show.
Okay, back to the show with myself and Juan. I have to tell you before we resume about Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solutions. Boy, this is the guy. I'm telling you, if you need a tap system installed, it'll be the tap system of your dreams. You go all around town, you're drinking delicious craft beer just like the brewer intended to taste. I'll bet you Jeff Rourke had his hands in it. He's a guy that can also do some maintenance for you. Maintenance is big. I've seen some tacky stuff in bars, Juan, where they're pouring it into pitchers and dishing the foam off and then into a glass.
That's right.
What does that do for your patrons that come and look at that and just say...
It doesn't look good, and it's also really expensive.
You're not doing yourself any favors,
that's right?
Yeah. Because if you're pouring inefficient beer, boys, what are you doing?
You're pouring your money down the drain.
You're wasting it.
Money.
Don't waste it. I mean, go ahead and give Jeff Rourke a call. He can do the maintenance, he can do the installs, but he can also add a line, right? Water, wine, nitro, coffee, kombucha, whatever you can dream up that can get poured, Jeff Rourke can do it. The Monarch Casino, I was up there just before I left, and I'll tell you what, football fields of glycol line, right? Football fields. Have kegs of beer in a line. That's a difficult proposition to have that beer come out and taste good. So no job too small, no job too big.
You need a good guy for sure. Jeff
Rourke can do that for you. Here's the phone number, 720-272-3809. Prank him. Just call him up and say, hey, Jeff, heard you're a family man. You support the Modern Eater Show. You do so much for our community. Just thank him, too. But also do business with him. He's the most trusted man in the business, 720-272-3809. That's Jeff Rourke, A+ Beverage Solutions. Juan.
What's up?
Dude, okay, when I was gone, there was some good programming going on.
Yeah, we had some great guests.
Now, first of all, where Juan eats,
yeah,
that's spectacular.
It was pretty fun to do that. Yeah.
Now, how many did you do? 4?
We did 4 of those, yeah.
4.
Yeah, we did Konjo Ethiopian, we did Urban Burma, we did Tycoon and Soy Pinoy, and we did The Well in Lohi. Yeah.
Okay, so when Juan's going to eat,
yes,
is it by recommendation? Is it by referral?
Rarely by recommendation or referral. Mostly just curiosity on my part.
Mm-hmm.
I do sometimes when I get a chance to talk to Mark Antonasian, because I know that's kind of his thing. He likes to get out to the ethnic restaurants, so he typically has some good recommendations. And if somebody wants to offer one, I'll take it. But generally speaking, I'm really interested in what's going on in the outskirts of Denver, and always looking for great talent. And my life goal is to try to figure out how to incubate some of these smaller businesses and really help people kind of realize their dreams. So.
Now, I'm a creature of habit, and I think a lot of people are as well. You're a curious guy by nature.
Yeah.
Just today, you went right up the street on Federal, said, I'm going to get some of this chicken. You tried out the chicken. You said, hey, I'll go back.
It was really good.
Would that be a place that would qualify for a Where Juan Eats?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was a Latin smoked chicken, and it was really good. It was juicy. The salsas he made were incredible. Warm tortillas, pico, came with rice and beans, and he didn't do the typical refried beans. He did what looked like alachada beans from Mexico. They also looked like Puerto Rican beans, so which I like a lot better than refried beans. And the rice was really good. So, I mean, I was shocked. I went in there. I was in and out in probably 3 minutes. So they have all this chicken just smoking on this smoker, and it was right across it was like basically 5th and Federal on the south side, and it's just like a smoker and a cart.
Right down the street from the studio kitchen. Okay, so a lot of industry folks watch the show and probably saying to yourself, well, how can I get Juan in and to do a Where Juan Eats?
I've had a few people ask
what's
about
the qualifications? What do you look for?
I just, I like to go to places that I think, aren't getting the recognition that they deserve. I think first and foremost, our group is certainly really blessed, but we also recognize that, we probably get a little bit more recognition than necessary, and we'll take it. But at the same time, I want to really help those other businesses out that, that aren't getting it. So I think that's number one, and then number two, it's got to be good. It's got to be good.
Because you're putting a Juan stamp on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people doing some awesome things out there. I mean, every single one of those places that we visited I think are really good. You talk about like Urban Burma, which is in a refugee center, and there's 5 food stalls in there. All the food stalls are good. He's a really hip kid. He emigrated to Thailand and then met a woman who was teaching English as a second language, and so there's a story behind that too. And he came here, and he was working in nonprofits for a number of years. He just missed his food and started, importing some of the noodles and really introducing people to Burmese food in Colorado. I mean, there are Burmese restaurants on the coast. I have never seen one in Colorado, and it's really delicious. And he's super passionate about it. He's very proud of it, and that's the type of stuff that those are the stories that I want to talk about.
Well, food tells stories too, right?
That's right. Yeah, and history.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of food is rooted in conflict, and I think if we all sat down around a table, with some food and some beer, I think we'd solve a lot more problems than getting on social media and yelling at each other. I couldn't
agree more. And that's why I really think that you and your guests elevated the Modern Eater Show, because that's the element that you brought. And with your natural curiosity, you were able to bring out those stories of not only themselves, but their family, their food, and it all just ties together. And that's what really, really interests me for the Modern Eater.
And I got to do a couple with Kendra Anderson as well, whose palate is like through the roof, much better than mine. So her stamp of approval probably even better than mine. So
so I look forward to hopefully seeing more Where Juan Eats, because that's something that just needs to happen. Beyond that, philanthropy, charitable organizations, charitable people, giving back to the community. Your background, and I'm sure most people do know, but for those that don't, where are you from, Juan?
I grew up in a small town in Massachusetts, about 65 miles west of Boston. The big city near us is Worcester, which is the second largest city in New England, but it's like 90,000 people. People don't realize that. They think it's like one big city in the Northeast. So everybody just thinks of New York. And I grew up there. Worcester's an immigrant city. It's got the second largest Southeast Asian community center in the country. My mother did the grant writing for that. My father, he worked in Boston. He drove 65 miles each way to work for 40 years. So,
immigrants are a strong part of you and your heritage as well, along with everybody else. And you really celebrate it, and it really showed in some of the programming you did. But Black History Month was a big thing. It still is.
We're still in Black History Month.
Absolutely.
And, we had the guys from Illa Gallery on. I thought that was a really cool,
completely cool.
Yeah, just bringing art and food together, and music and all that type of stuff. So it really all goes together. It's all cultural, I think it's all really important to elevate one another. And I think those guys are doing a really good job programming their art gallery down on 2nd and Klamath. And, there's still time to go down and check out and buy some art from some young black artists down there. I think that's really cool. We got to go to the Clayton and talk about their diversity and inclusion.
All these videos for you guys that if you may have missed one, obviously on the Modern Eater website, but on the Facebook as well. And I seriously go back, take the time, watch some of these videos. Also, the Super Bowl episode was really cool.
That was awesome.
Brady needs to go, right?
I mean, I would have told you a decade ago, but people still want to argue. And I had this argument with T.J. Ward 3 weeks before the Super Bowl. He's telling me Aaron Rodgers is a lot better than Tom Brady, and I cannot understand that. But I guess when you compete against somebody, and they've beaten him a couple times in fairness, but there is something more important than actual, performance. It's like elevating everybody around you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the case in business. It's certainly the case in restaurants. People that go in there and they're positive and they impact other people, everybody's game rises. And I think that, Tom Brady is a sports icon, but I think if more people took that approach, we'd be in a much better position as a country. We wouldn't have some of the issues that we have. We'd be looking out for one another. We'd be working really hard to see others, to celebrate others' success, and not worried about stepping on people's throats when they're down. So,
consummate professional, just like you want.
Yeah.
So one thing that I have to ask you is, as you look back at your time hosting the Modern Eater show, was there one person that you were like, or ooh, or boy, where'd you leave it?
I don't know what the and the ooh and the boy is, but
I wish I would have got this person on, or they reached out to me.
Well, we tried. Yeah, we had a couple folks that we tried to. We came pretty close to having Guy Fieri on. That would have been cool, but he just couldn't make it. And same with Jamie Bissonette out in Boston, who's doing a lot of amazing things. I was hoping to get somebody from another part of the country to talk about what was going on in their city, so that we could realize, how lucky we are in Colorado. At the end of the day, Colorado's in much better shape than New York or Boston or San Francisco or LA or those types of places. So, and the other thing I also want to point out, having Adrian Miller on, the Soul Food Scholar.
I watched every second of that.
Yeah, he's just an incredible guy, and I hadn't had the opportunity, to personally talk to him much. And he's just doing so many cool things, and he's got great events that are coming up.
Yeah, if you missed that, Eat Denver's going to do a fantastic talk with him, right?
Yeah. So Eat Denver will do. They have like these Ed Talks, Eat Denver Talks, and Katie Laser, obviously, how I think about her. And, she'll do a great job with that stuff. And we had Denise Mickelson and Amanda Faison that supported it. Wow. That came on. Taji Cook was really great. Brother Luck. Brother Luck and I have been hanging out, talking.
He told me he sat down and had probably
guy.
I don't think I'm giving away too much, but he said that you really changed the perspective of business in his mind that he hadn't grasped before.
Yeah, and he's just a super talented guy, and I think that's the case with a lot of chefs, and they should be focused on their craft. And for us, our group's mission is to kind of take some of the anxiety out of their day-to-day lives and put them in positions to be successful. And I think, I was an athlete, and the best coaches I ever played for coach to your strengths. And that's sort of our approach at Culinary Creative with our group, is that, we want the people to shine and doing what they're really good at. And sometimes we ask them to do stuff they're not good at. And it's tough, but we'll get through it together, and we'll be accountable, and we'll continue to develop people that way. But he's a good cook, and he's a great guy. I didn't know that. I've talked to him plenty. He's been up and done dinners at Bardot, and I was really impressed with him. He's a terrific guy. We're actually going to get together this weekend and talk a little bit more, and I'm going to get to meet his wife, and I'm pretty excited about that. And David Adley, he was cool too, man. He's a
really cool.
He's a great kid, man.
His future.
And I've known him for a while.
Yeah.
He can cook. But he's also like, he's the type of kid that has, I think, a unique ability to kind of like inspire other people. So I thought that, I think he's got an interesting future ahead of him.
I do too.
Yeah.
He's creative, he's talented, he's handsome, he's a great talker, he's got all the intangibles to really just take off.
Yeah, and he wants it.
Yeah, he does.
And Taj cooking Jamaican food and doing some vegan food and introducing us to all kinds of cool stuff. And his story's incredible. His dad and just how he was brought up, and getting to hang out with his wife, who's an amazing person. So
last one for you. Your time with the Modern Eater, filling in, hosting the show. What was your takeaway? Did you enjoy the experience? Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, it was. My number one takeaway is that you guys work harder than I thought. So I was like, man, this is a lot of hours thinking about this stuff. So these guys are actually doing some work.
We put a lot of our passion into this.
Yeah, and clearly, and it takes passion to be able to do it. And for me being competitive, I just didn't want to let anybody down. So it was good to do that. And I got the first show having Carrie on, who's kind of a pro in front of a camera, and also having Ben Higgins and Ryan Harris and all these guys on that were really good. I mean, I chose these people because I was like, man,
in case
if I screw this up, they'll
but by
figure
the
it
end,
out.
you were bulletproof by the end, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have just sat here and monologued and riffed and talked about the industry, and that's really the point that. And I think Troy Gard said that. Well, I don't know about the Bob Barker reference. I'm thinking more like,
Troy's in Palm Springs on vacation.
That's right. How about Jay Parker?
Man, we had a fun time working together. So, it was really, first time we went over to Konjo, Ethiopian, and I love those gals over there, Fetian and Galila, and Jay's over there, and I'm like, what is going on with this guy? He's got like things hanging from his pants, and he's got his shirt on. He wore his Lighting Kugel sweatshirt to every single thing, and I was like, this is unbelievable. He was walking around like a robot, like Tron or something like that from back in the day. But he got it done. I thought he did a great job with, making me look reasonably good with the Where Juan Eats things. I imagine we added a lot to his workload, not just working with somebody new, but also doing an entirely new segment, and then also allowing me to do a show that we had Daniel Graham and Ryan Harris on. We're talking Super Bowl, and it's a food show, so really guiding us through that and helping us balance that, so that the mission of the show was still represented, but we were able to bring in some pop culture, kind of around the
absolutely
the whole 5 days, I would say.
I enjoyed every second of it, Juan. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man, it was great.
We got more to do. Okay, we've got a food truck out front here.
I'm hungry. Let's go eat.
See, the logo was just there. It's Hesher. What's a Hesher?
I don't know.
All right, we're going to figure that out. Chef Jeff Gebott's here with us as well. We'll go out to the food truck, and then we'll have some Ursula beer. Let me look.
Am I getting red?
Well, you got a little red.
I told you it's going to start coming. I'm allergic to brewer's yeast, but I had to have one of these beers. I've heard good things.
Rob Bessett's here with us today from Ursula.
Yeah.
And what a great brewing company, and you commented on. Boy,
really good.
You like the canning as well.
I'm going to, if we don't carry this, we will be carrying this. This is a delicious beer, this unfiltered pills that
That's
they have.
what it's about.
So
the Modern Eater, just networking.
Just did a sale.
Fantastic. That's cool. And then we got the guys from Culinary Quick Start. And then guess what? We have Dr. Blanchett. That's the show. Stick around. We got more for you on the Modern Eater.
Hey guys, Alex Armitage over at Sam's No. 3 Glendale. You want a Bloody Mary? You want a cheeseburger? You want a breakfast burrito? Greek salad? Bacon gyro meat? Chicken souvlaki? Barbecue ranch salad? We got you covered. Come down and see us. One more time. Try it again. Hey guys, Alex Armitage over here at Sam's No. 3 Glendale. Now get your ass to themoderneater.com. Thank you so much.
We started Meridium Spirits because we love the way that spirits and cocktails can bring people together to socialize, to bond, to have conversations. Well, right now we've got some big conversations to have. Coop Vodka and Coop Gin are available at liquor stores across the metro area, but if you can't find us or would like to have us behind your bar or at your restaurant, send us an email, info@meridiumspirits.com. We know things are a little different these days, but think of us the next time you're planning a virtual happy hour or a socially distant picnic. And keep an eye on our social media, Coop by Meridium, for all the latest and greatest.
Hey guys, it's Caroline Glover. I'm the chef owner of Annette out at Stanley Marketplace. Citrus is about to be in its prime. I just want to thank everybody for showing so much support to small local restaurants in this really hard time. And you're watching the Modern Eater Show. I'm fine with that.
Okay, welcome back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado. We're going to head out to the Hesher food truck.
I'm excited.
We got a Ursula beer.
Another one, the second one. This is the second beer I've had in 2021.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then
I hardly ever drink beer anymore. I'm allergic to brewer's yeast, but my first one was so delicious. I'm going to have a second
try
one.
some
This
more.
Ursula, I've never had any beer from this place, and I think we're gonna pick it up at the taps for sure. So
We'll go do a visit there, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of where Juan eats, I think we've got a live version that's going
do
to
it.
come on now. So I'm going to take the background on this.
All
You're
right.
going to take the foreground on it
go.
and do all of the Juan abilities, and let's go out and check out this truck.
let's go.
All right, here we go.
I'm excited.
It's Where Juan Eats live on the Modern Eater Show.
Yeah, so we are pretty excited to come out here and talk to Chef Jeff Hesher BBQ. And this is where Juan eats, man. Let's go check
look at
it
the
out.
logo.
Chef Jeff, I know the logo is pretty cool. So, what's up, Chef?
Hey!
How you doing, brother?
Good, man.
What is going on over here, man? It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's good to see you.
I know, man.
I'm got some Rockalitas tortillas here.
Okay. Flour.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You're not allergic to that, are you?
I'm not allergic to flour.
Okay.
You know, I think I'm going to throw the allergy thing out the window right now. It's just I'm going to go with it, and we'll see what happens.
Excellent.
You know, if I
Excellent.
end up in the hospital, at least I'll have a great last meal.
There you go.
You know, so, and I
Harvest
sure.
Moon bread here.
All right, you
Love
got
it.
it.
We
You
keep it
covered local. I
We
see
keep
that.
it local.
So what do we got going on, man?
So I'm making a brisket sandwich for us today.
Okay.
Big, thick sliced brisket here.
Yeah, really thick.
Yeah. Go big or go home, right?
That's right. That's one sandwich?
That's one sandwich.
Come
yeah.
on, man.
Holy
Is that
cow.
really one?
Yeah, that's really one sandwich.
Look at that thing.
Go big or go home.
Now, we wanted to know, right, Juan, what Hesher is.
Yes. Jeff, we got to ask you, what is Hesher?
So Hesher is a slang term for someone who's stuck in like 80s and 90s heavy metal, hard rock music.
Okay.
But also likes to drink beer and occasionally smoke a little.
Well, I was gonna at the beginning, I was gonna say
Troy
Chef Troy
would
Guard.
have he would have known that.
Yeah.
Right.
Troy and I have that in common. He's a big
Yeah.
music guy too. So, and my business partner Tony's into music, plays guitar. You obviously know my son plays guitar like crazy. So, music's always been kind of a thing. And so,
All right, when you got to get pumped up before you're cooking for like a big group of people, like what's your
Pantera.
That's it.
yeah.
Okay.
My Instagram page is Barbecue Beyond Driven. Like, so I'm all about Pantera
Yeah.
and Texas barbecue. That's why I brought brisket today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's your background? First of all, your barbecue has always been delicious, and you've done such a great job. We've even shut down a couple of places for you. What was the name of that?
Southern Hospitality.
We
yeah.
did
Yeah.
a show there, and the next day
I remember.
they shut down.
Yeah.
That was
that's-
unreal. It was called The Last Supper.
That's
Yeah.
Last Supper.
But it created the summer dinner series.
It really did.
Because that was the first dinner you ever did.
That was.
So, and we had Brews and we had Rocker, so it was a fun time.
So business has been really strange, and here you are into the food truck. Did you ever think you'd be in food truck? Because renownedly, you're a chef with a bunch of employees and a lot of working parts.
I've always wanted to do a food truck,
Uh-huh.
and so it just kind of fell into place. I have great partners that also own Ursula Brewery that you have on today, and Cedar Creek Pub, and so I have a great kitchen to work with. I have staff that helps too. So when they're not working at the restaurant, they're helping me on the truck. So it works out really well.
Yeah, and look, I've known you for a long time. I've eaten a lot of your food. It's really cool to see you in this environment. But, man, I mean, you've been a big-time chef.
Yeah.
And now you're in a food truck.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this is passion, right?
This is, I get to do whatever I want,
Right.
And I love, you love dining rooms too.
Right.
The nice thing about a food truck is you have a new dining room everywhere you post up.
Right.
Right.
And you post up a lot, right?
What is the big difference between cooking in a food truck versus getting ready for service at a restaurant? Like, I know you worked for Troy for a while. You worked at Southern Hospitality.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, weather is probably the biggest thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's nice having an indoor dining space where you can not deal with snow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing. You're prepping food. Everything I do is fresh. So we're still smoking meats overnight.
Right.
We're still cooking all our chicken wings daily. We make our own potato chips. All of our salsas are fresh. I mean, everything is fresh. So it's nice actually having a restaurant that we can do all that out of.
Okay.
Because it really
Is it a
carries
commissary
over.
kitchen or an actual
It's an actual restaurant. It's called Cedar Creek Pub.
Okay. I'll have to
It's
go out
actually
and check that out.
It's
too.
right across from Ursula.
Okay.
So
Got a great cameraman today. Get in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we got going on over here?
All right, so I'm just making some nachos for you guys.
Okay.
And then I'm doing a little bit of Korean tacos. I got some egg rolls over in the fryer.
What is a Korean taco?
So it's I take my brisket and I do a Korean marinade.
Like kalbi?
Kalbi, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You know what it is. And then we do some pickled onions. Troy taught me how to make
kimchi.
Kimchi.
Yeah.
So we do kimchi on the truck. So it's fun that
Look at this.
That looks freaking delicious.
Yeah. Well, you're about to eat it.
Yeah, well, let's put that aside. We'll bring that in.
Yep.
We're going to bring all this in, drink some beer.
Yep. Let's get these tacos going here.
Yeah. So is this beef as well?
This is brisket.
This is all brisket.
So everything is barbecue based. All of our food is smoked meats, traditional barbecue.
Oh, I'm just gonna...
But we twist
That's
it.
unreal.
Is it good?
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So some of our kimchi here.
I can see that marinade is really good.
Yeah.
Now, menu development always, you can do so much, but where do you start coming up with the ideas of what you want to do and execute?
So we have a basis, the smoked meats is our base, and then we just go from there. So, I mean, I'm using brisket like 3 different ways for you today. We got a south of the border style, Asian influence. I got egg rolls, so I'm running I run egg rolls as a special.
Traditional?
It's actually got coleslaw inside of it.
Sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
This is my bad out of hell barbecue sauce. We make all our barbecue sauces too.
Let me get a little of that.
It's got a little bit of ghost pepper. You allergic to that?
No.
Okay.
I was going to say
Just
that
eggs and brewer's yeast.
Yeah.
with the name of the truck, Hesher,
Yep.
it better have some influence on the food, too.
Well, yeah. So I call it heavy metal barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, why do the same thing that everybody does? So that's what
Go
was
big or go home.
That was the idea behind this thing. You know,
that
was
heat
to-
comes on that sauce like right afterwards. It's really nice. It's
Ghost
not overwhelming. I know it's not overwhelming though. Ghost
Yeah.
pepper's hot.
I have some people that want it kicked up even more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I can see that around here.
I like
for
it.
sure.
You like spicy ones?
I love spicy, but you know, for me, like
Not show off spicy.
Well, I mean, those days are gone. You know, so I don't want to. You know, I'm 47 years old now. That stuff doesn't really do my body very good. But I like kind of medium high heat, I would say. But the biggest thing for me is flavor, and I want it to linger for a while. I love it when it hits me a little bit later back of the palate. You know,
And complement the food. I mean,
has to
obviously.
complement the food.
Yeah.
So with the egg rolls, I got my Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce, kind of a Texas
That's
style.
a different one.
That's a
Did you
different
drop
one,
the
yeah.
egg rolls?
Yeah, I already dropped them, so we're ready to roll.
We're ready to roll.
We're
Okay,
ready-
let's
we're
break.
ready
We'll
to
come
eat.
back in. We're going to eat this delicious food. We're going to talk to Rob from Ursula. I don't know, man. You're doing such a good job behind the camera.
I know, new
He's a-
job.
he's a
Hire
pro.
that guy.
I think you got a future.
Yeah, he can take over the show, and
I
you can
love
be the
it.
cameraman.
We're going to learn about Rob. This is the live edition of Where Juan Eats, and we're going to throw some beer in there as well. But we're at Studio Kitchen, Colorado. We're so glad you joined us here today, Chef Jeff Gebott. It's been a while since I've seen
man.
you, and it's just good to see.
It's good to have him back from New York, isn't it?
I know, right? It truly is.
All right, brother.
We'll take a break. We'll come right back. It'll be quick. We'll be back in a flash to Studio Kitchen, Colorado.
All right.
Hi, I'm Amber with Strohauer Farms, and I'm just here to remind you that the best potatoes are grown here in Colorado. Goodness elevated. Thanks for watching the Modern Eater Show.
Hey, Zach Ryder here, Colorado Mills Sunflower Products out of Lamar, Colorado. Your only local source, grown from a local crop to produce a local oil for local chefs. You can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, Seattle Fish Company. Let me try it one more time, then we'll see. Hey, restaurants, we're glad you're reopening. From Colorado Mills Sunflower Oil, we'll see you soon.
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com.
Hey Modern Eater fans, I'm Don Trobo with the Annex by Ardent Mills, and I just wanted to give you a heads up about some of the great things we've got going on locally in the state. We're headquartered right here, and we're working with farmers in the San Luis Valley to bring you amazing Colorado quinoa. It's just like the South American stuff, but grown locally. We've got transitional wheat flour that's grown by farmers in Colorado and surrounding states who are in the process of turning their fields into organic. So we're taking that transitional wheat, and turning it into flour, and now it's available for you to cook and bake with. And last but not least, we're now cleaning grain berries in Denver. So things like spelt or wheat berries or pearl barley, those are things that we're now doing right here locally and are available to you. Can't wait to share it with you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Nations from Aspen Baking Company. It's really important right now to support local. That's why I support the Modern Eater. Now, back to the show.
All right, back to the show in just a second, you guys,
boy.
but it's time to
Big
talk
boy work.
about bread. That's right, my favorite time of the show, it's bread, and specifically, it's Aspen Baking Company bread. That's right, Aspen Baking since 1994, you guys, making the freshest bread in the city. I'm a sourdough guy, but they make everything. They even do pizza dough. You know what they don't do? They don't freeze it. They don't put the chemicals. They don't put any of that stuff. They just put the good stuff. Love, butter, sugar, gluten. AspenBaking.com. If you're a chef, you need bread, you can't bake it in your kitchen, it's too small, you don't have the wherewithal, that's all right. That's where Aspen Baking comes in. They'll bake it for you, you guys. I'm telling you, it's small business, it's local, it's delicious. It's AspenBaking.com, and now back to the show.
Chef knives.
Okay. I think we're back to the show. Are we back, Jay?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got some delicious food from the Hesher food truck with us. Chef Jeff Gebott, Rob Bessett here with us as well from Ursula, of course, Juan Padró, myself, Greg Hollenbach. I guess this is the camera that we're looking at,
That's
guys.
what we're working on?
I know, and this food, all of it, we're like, well, where do we begin type of thing. It all looks fantastic, and this is the type of food, it's like, just shut up and dig in.
Right.
While we're digging in, let's go over, introduce this guy for us. I like this.
So Rob just joined our little family. We have the food truck, we have Cedar Creek Pub, as well as the brewery, and we're really lucky to have this talented individual with us. His beers have been a breath of fresh air at the brewery, and I've always been a fan of the brewery, but it's nice to see someone coming in and really bringing some new ideas and some fresh flavors. So,
well, I know you're a great cameraman. Your background's not cameras, though.
No,
right?
not at all. Not at all.
What's your background?
So background, so I'm originally from Chicago, grew up on the south side of the city. Played hockey my whole life. Kind of that was my whole thing. Played a little bit of music, but eventually found my way into beer through the medical field. Really, I was initially so interested in like becoming a doctor or something like that. And so I went through all the training, the biology, the chemistry, all that stuff. And then started working in the industry for a little bit and just was not a fit for me. So after that, I started homebrewing. I met my girlfriend, now wife, and we just started drinking a ton of beer. And,
she fell in love with the beard or the beer?
The beard was a lot smaller at the time, so I think it was the beer. But although the beer wasn't as good at the time
Has she ever
either,
seen your face clean shaven?
No, she actually has not.
She has not?
Yeah, we've been on there for about 5 years now, and I haven't been clean shaven for probably about 6 or 7.
I think it'll happen at some point in your life, which will freak her out.
Yeah, right.
What is the brewery in Chicago? It was the best goes that I've had before, in my life, and it was in a white can. It's a Chicago brewery.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
It might kill me.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm going to have to figure out what that
White
name
can.
is, but this was really good.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
the beer's good. The unfiltered Pilsner was awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, my God, Chef Gebott.
You good?
Right?
What would you pair with this?
So something like that. This one a little bit spicier, yeah.
It's got a little heat to it, yeah.
A little heat to it. Something like you're saying, the Pilsner, I think, would really, really go well with a beer
Grab
like
some little
that.
glasses. Why don't you
Absolutely. Start pouring some.
do the Rob stuff, and you've got the stick mic here, one-handing it.
Yeah, Pils was spicy. Also, IPAs, I think, with spicy is good, too. You know, so, especially if you have some citrus. Or
Excuse us while we eat, you guys.
yeah, what was this thing?
I'll tell you
So
what.
a big part of like where the food truck goes is we spend a lot of time at local breweries, and so I know when I'm drinking beer, the food I want to eat, and so the menu's patterned at breweries.
Right.
So
Very good.
we also do do table service when we run a food truck. So we keep people in their seats, drinking beer and eating
So
our
that's
food.
interesting.
Yeah.
What's the thought process behind that?
I'd rather, the breweries are letting us into their house, It's a loner dining room for us. I'd rather the guests there be drinking their beers and hanging out with their family and their friends than standing outside in front of my truck waiting for me to cook for them. So beer sales go up when we're at breweries, and our food sales are better too.
Give
We
us
get
an
to talk
idea
to
of some
people.
of the breweries that you've gone to and are going to.
So I'm at Brews tomorrow night.
Great brewery.
Yeah, great brewery. Longtime friends with them. We do Launchpad in Aurora quite a bit. We're at Lone Tree, which is obviously in Lone Tree. We do Mountain Toad in Golden. We do Resolutes, both of them. They have the Tap and Cellar, the newer spot up in Arvada. And then we do the one in Centennial as well. So that truck's running 6-7 days a week.
All right.
Yeah, it's out there.
That's
so,
very cool.
Yeah.
So when you've got reduced labor, right? It's
Yep.
you.
It's me.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, I would think, all right, man, I'm a chef in a hospitality group, Southern Hospitality. I'm a corporate, oversee multiple stores.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big job.
It's a big job.
And you go and you do something that is equally as many hours.
Yeah.
But it's but just you.
Yeah. Well, what's fun is I bring a server with me usually, or I bring a cook with me. So yesterday I got a break from cooking, and I got to spend time with guests inside the brewery and cruise around Launchpad and make new friends and see old ones while my cook was busting it. You know, day before I was the one cooking, and that was a long day. You realize how old you are after spending 5-6 hours on a food truck in front of a flat top.
The flavors are delicious, and I want to actually do a jump across from this. Is this the same beer that Juan has?
No, so he actually has the Goza.
I would love for Juan to have this in front of me because I want to ask Juan a question.
Oh.
You're great at deconstructing flavors within food. I mean, you just a good identifier. Equally as strong, can you do that with beer? Can you kind of identify flavors within beer? Or
I mean, this is
get on this.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, this is a Pilsner. It's an unfiltered Pilsner, which is pretty interesting. And I don't know that there's like any kind of it's actually pretty crisp and
it is.
What kind of hops are these?
Yeah, so it's really based off kind of a Czech style or Bohemian style pills. So it has a bunch of Czech Saaz in here.
Okay.
It's kind of the main hop doing most of the bittering. But then also threw a little cool melon and Mandarin of Bavaria in the
and that
whirlpool
kind of
with this
mellows
beer.
out the hoppiness of it.
Yep, a little bit. So that's actually just for some more of the orange, citrusy kind of character that you're getting at the end. But I mean, kind of the baseline on this beer is you're going to be getting a lot of hay, cracker, maybe a little biscuit, and then some of like the noble hop character from the Saaz. It's just something that's really traditional, little grassy,
really good
little
with barbecue.
herbal. Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
rich foods and.
I think it pairs very well.
Yeah, it does that. The tongue cleanse leaves that coating on there, and it gets you ready for another round of that.
Yep.
Beer so far, fantastic. The packaging, you commented on the packaging.
Yeah, first thing I comment, and that's I like to see that. I mean that's like years ago. My grandfather told me, if you're ever going to go take a loan out, and you always look at your banker's shoes. If he doesn't know how to take care of his shoes, he doesn't know how to take care of his money. And
my grandfather said, when I go down to tie my shoes, I look around for other things to do because I don't know when I'll be back down there again.
That's weird. That's
weird. But that's a great point.
But it's the same thing, like when you see somebody take, the amount of care that they did and the graphic design on there, and I mean, that they're going to take, that amount of care with what they're doing in their primary.
As we jump around a little bit from food to beer, beer to food, which is that's what you do,
that's
right?
What I like to do.
These wings, so these wings strike me. Nothing on it. I mean, there's no sauce.
They're dry rub.
Yeah.
So that's my all-purpose dry rub. I use it on my pork as well as my chicken. And
Looking for a knife?
I need a knife.
I want a knife for this thing because this
Yeah.
thing is staring me in the face.
Chef,
I'm just like,
Chef
will somebody
Blake?
get me a knife?
Would you give us a knife, Chef Blake? Thank you. So great to have the chefs
The egg
in
rolls
the
are
kitchen.
incredible.
Those are popular. Yeah, I do those as a
Chef
special.
to chef. There we go.
Thank you.
Normally don't like knives coming up behind me like that.
Right.
So Ursula, where are you located?
Yeah, so we're right on the on the medical center campus. So we're right across the street from Cedar Creek Pub, where he's doing all his cooking there too. So the address is 2101 North Ursula Street. Just come check us out. I'll be happy to have you.
So East Colfax, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, right behind the medical center there.
You spent a little time there, haven't you? Chef Gebott?
Every day.
Every day?
I'm there every day.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Probably a good place to be.
Yeah.
Look at this sandwich.
I head over for lunch.
You got pickles. You got really thick cut brisket. Then you have onion strings, and you have a barbecue sauce that has ghost pepper in it. The brisket's incredible. The sandwich, I don't know if it's going to fit in my mouth. Oh, my God.
It's a lot, right?
Oh, good.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
What hit you first, the brisket?
The fattiness of the brisket.
Mhm.
And then the crunchiness of the onion strings. The pickles, good touch. And then the bread is holding up really nicely. Where's this bread from again?
That's Harvest Moon.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
So
local.
good. Mhm.
That's their potato bread they make for me.
I love potato bread.
Yeah.
Mostly because I love brioche, but it has egg in it.
Yep.
Take us through visually, kind of be that storyteller when you walk into Ursula and what you can expect and how many beers are on tap and kind of the community around you.
Absolutely. It's a smaller brewery. Don't have the footprint necessarily a lot of some of the breweries do here, but doesn't necessarily mean that you're not making great beer. So you pull in, roll in, tap room, right to your right. You have the bar, lots of seating, have some barrels in the tap room, which we do use quite a bit. So half of which are like sour mixed culture kind of beers, and then the other half is all clean, mostly barrel aged stout, some barley wine, and then behind the bar you can actually get access to the brewery. And back there, it's relatively small. We're a 10-barrel brewery, but we got about four 10-barrel fermenters, a 30-barrel fermenter, and then just some bright tanks back there. So,
what percentage of your business is done at the brewery versus like out to commercial?
80-20.
Yeah, right now we're actually 100% in the brewery.
Really?
Yeah. So 100%
Well,
in the
tell
brewery.
today.
Yeah.
I think Juan would like to have your beer.
I would.
Lucky for him, coming up this spring, March, we're actually going to be starting to self-distribute again, go back towards that model and start moving some beer out, trickling out throughout Colorado. Really excited to share. I can't always get to the tap room and check it out, so we're happy to bring the beer to you
100%.
sometimes. So,
you know what?
We'll do an event with you if you'd like at one of the taps. They're super
Absolutely.
busy. And, you know what we should do? We should have you come cook.
Yep.
Do a little pop-up, do
That'd be
some
fun.
barbecue. I mean, we've had some fun before.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where would you do that?
I think we would probably wait till the spring and we would do it in the parking lot at Highland Tap.
Highland Tap,
Just get that food truck out there, get some music going. Normally I would say DJ, but this time I would say we just got to get some rock and roll.
That's right.
And,
you gotta go slow.
Let's just see.
Maybe we can do a little
Let's
collab
just see
here.
what happens.
And get all the Heshers in Denver out.
Exactly.
Can we play some
We're gonna try it.
Pantera?
We can play Pantera. Yeah, and you get 20% off your bill if you wear your old '80s rock and roll.
Oh, that's a good
t-shirt.
idea.
Yeah,
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I gotta try an egg
Or
roll.
even better, we donate to charity
Yeah, so
a portion of that.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Look at that. Let's
take one out of the COVID Bandits book.
Right?
Yeah.
Egg roll.
I know. They're fun.
And that's brisket.
That's brisket.
In the egg roll.
Your brisket's really good.
Thank you. It's prime.
Really good.
Yeah.
This sandwich. Have you had this sandwich?
Oh, yeah.
This sandwich. is
Unfortunately,
really
I'm
good.
down to one hand right now because I'm going to be digging in here soon. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, you might want to let him hold that because
That was one
I
of the
might
perks
beat you.
of
I might
one of the
just-
perks of him joining us was that he gets to eat my barbecue.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Swap some beer for me, and I'm in.
One of the episodes that you did, Juan, while I was gone, was nachos.
Yeah, we did that
Oh,
with
I watched that. That was great.
with Chef
Top
Carey
chefs.
and Joe Flan, the two Joes.
How did these hold up?
These are really good. These are really good. Mine were different because I did Thai nachos.
Yeah.
And I definitely got some help from Chef Paul Cui, who, in my estimation, is one of the great chefs in America.
I was going to say.
So he gave me a quick tutorial on how to do those, and I think they were pretty popular.
Did they come out?
They were incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were so good.
Did you make them at your Super Bowl occasion?
No, but I will make those. That'll be on my recipe list. You know how you're a chef, so you don't necessarily have just your. But if you're not a chef, you've got your 10 or 12 things that you can just knock out that are always going to be winners.
Wait, give me 5 of them. What are your 5?
Well, my father was the cook in our family, so and I grew up on Latin soul food, Puerto Rican soul food. So my dad's beans is probably my favorite bite in the history of the world. His sofrito is incredible. So and we talked a little bit about that on the show as well. But so I would say that I cook a pretty mean rack of lamb, and I really like using a lot of fruit and balsamic and just. And I love lamb. Lamb's my favorite meat. If I'm not, so I eat a lot less meat than I used to. If somebody said you could eat one meat for the rest of your life,
it'd be lamb?
It'd be lamb for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really like lamb.
Do you have a taste for goat?
I love goat.
Do you really?
Yeah. I grew up, my best friend's Jamaican. I grew up eating goat curry, and so I think Jamaican food is the most underrated food in the world. I love oxtail. So I would say that's.
I've ever had oxtail.
Oxtail.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
I mean, come on. So I would say that's probably a big one for me. I have a orzo dish that I love in the summer, and I roast off some shrimp, and it's a really fresh cold salad. It's got lemon and feta and a little bit of cucumber and onion and dill.
I want that.
It's delicious.
That sounds awesome.
I mean, if you're just going to eat, I love orzo. I think orzo is the most underutilized thing. It's incredible how underutilized it is.
Yeah.
So, is that 5? Something like that.
That was close. Those were all good. And way above
none
anything
of
that
us
I
are
can pull off.
mathematicians. So.
What's the one meat you would eat for the rest of your life if you only had one?
Well, geez, that's a good one. But I think chicken probably is going to just stand out there just because chicken's so versatile. And then beef would be a close second. After that, I'd probably jump into fish from there.
Mine's pork.
Pig, yeah. See, I was gonna ask you. It is pork?
Yeah. I'm all about the pig.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
I love pork, too. I mean, I obviously grew up with pernil, Puerto Rican style, So, and, going down to Puerto Rico, they have all the lechonerias. So there's a place called Guavate. It's called the Pork Highway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's miles long of pig roasts.
Wow.
Pig roast?
Pig roasts, one after the other, restaurants that are all pigs on spits.
Holy cow.
It's called Guavate.
I got to look that up.
Yeah,
that
the
cool.
Pork Highway. So
That's
when we do
awesome.
Modern Eater Puerto Rico and we go see our boy down in PR,
that's just a dream.
We'll do some barbecue in Fajardo, and then we'll go and do the Pork Highway.
That's fantastic. Wrap up this segment talking about these last couple of beers that we have here.
Absolutely. Yeah, so besides the Pils and the Goza, I brought a fun little stout here. So this was actually a collaboration with Lost Coffee, which are actually right over by Cedar Creek and Ursula over there. So this is a salted caramel mocha inspired stout. So I threw a bunch of fun stuff in here. I got some Madagascar vanilla beans, let's see, Burundi coffee, so a Rwandan coffee bean. No, sorry, not a Rwandan coffee bean. Burundi, some Ghana cacao husk, and then a little sea salt in there.
I want to mix that with vodka.
Tell them about the caramel, though.
Oh, yeah. So actually I made I think it was 40 pounds of caramel I made in-house for this beer.
He made the caramel.
Yeah, so I
That's
made
legit.
the caramel in-house, and then it all ferments out. So
It's got lactose in it. I'm not supposed to drink it,
There's
but
some
open
lactose
that
in it.
right now.
Want to give that a shot?
Hell yeah.
Give that a whirl.
Sounds delicious.
All right.
It's got coffee.
This
it's
stout
got-
is amazing.
Is it? Yeah, it looks
So
good.
we
I
got
can
this
see
guy
it.
in here. I brought another collab beer. So this was actually done. I need a couple.
Yeah,
There we
I'm
go.
gonna give you
I need a third hand. So this was actually a collab with
didn't
Mill
do much
95.
better.
No, you're perfect. It's good.
They're a hop broker out in Idaho.
Jeff?
Yeah.
So this
The
is a
nose on
100%
this is-
Centennial double IPA.
Double IPA, double
Yep.
the size, double
Yep.
the hops.
Yeah, so we did this guy in a crawler. This guy in the end is it's called Passing Through Time. It's a hazy IPA. It's really dry. It's made with Citroen and Galaxy.
So tell me about that. I'm from New England, so
Yeah.
obviously hazies are New England style IPAs. So you're brewing one, but that's controversial.
Yeah.
Out here, I remember when the first New England style IPA came out here, and everybody was like,
I know.
man, that's not, I don't get it. It's unfilled, And now the number one selling beer in all of our entire restaurant group, and we're a group that does about 35 million in sales a year, is a hazy IPA.
That's incredible.
It's our number one selling product at the Tap and Burgers, more than any piece of food.
Wow. But honestly, it doesn't surprise me.
and truly, you're right. I mean, for a while, it's like, okay, it's a fad, right?
Not
Okay,
a
it's a
fad.
fad. And then, boom.
They're so good with food.
Yeah.
It's all that citrus that comes out.
Yeah.
In New England, the breweries in New England, a lot of them are very small, and they don't come out to Great American Beer Festival, and the Hill Farmsteads of the world and the Tree Houses of the world and stuff like that, and they brew some epic beer. So it's really cool to see people kind of jumping on that.
Well, they're brewing them everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I brought you some Alchemist the other day.
Yeah.
Everything's
He's a great guy.
delicious that I've tasted.
We got a little
so far.
heady topper down at Bellevue
Yeah.
left over. I think there's 6 cans I saw on social
Oh.
media. Head on down.
I brought him a focal banger.
I would encourage you, you get an opportunity to go to Ursula, just go out of your way to do that as well. And then don't wait for Juan to pick it up in March. Go out and see him at the
I'm going to
brewery,
go out.
so.
I'll go out.
You will? Okay, cool.
I think the beer's really good.
Yeah,
I really do.
absolutely.
I believe
And
that.
then I was going to say for Hesher and Jeff Gebott, and thanks for spending time with us today, Chef. I was going to, and it's hard to do, but what was your number one favorite?
Me?
Yeah, right here. That you'd go, okay, I got to order it again. Mine's right here. This taco is
got a lot of umami.
Yeah. Second, believe it or not,
I'm going to tell you something right now.
the sandwich.
This is one of the best
that was
sandwiches
tough
in
for
Denver.
me. Yeah.
I mean, that's really good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Everything's been really good. This is.
That's it.
One of the best sandwiches.
That's the barn burner right there, and then just very creative with the egg roll.
Having fun.
I know. I
fun
love
with
it.
food. That's what I do. I play with food.
And you rock too, Chef. Thanks for
thank
being
you.
here with us, Rob Bessett. Amazing time.
Thank you guys
spent
for
with
having
you.
me.
We'll come see you for sure. Set this up, Juan. What are we gonna do next?
Man, we got these guys from Culinary Quick Start here. Emily Griffith.
Uh-huh.
And so we have Marcus and Chef Blake Stine, and looks like they got a lot of fresh herbs and veggies over there, and looks like some eggs. So I'm going to stay a little bit away from that. But I love these guys. I got a chance to talk with Blake several times when I was hosting, and I got to meet Marcus for the first time, even though I've eaten his food a bunch. And it was we had a pretty awesome conversation, and they're doing really cool things. They're taking young kids and teaching them basic skills in the kitchen, and we're interviewing them. I mean, I think we've probably interviewed 3 or 4 at this point.
But as you've gotten to know these chefs and seeing what they're doing and their passion for food too, and education, which I'll tell you what, right now, education's going to take a rebound because having instructors really just take the time to.
Well, you never know who they are,
Yeah.
when you're a restaurateur.
Which
so,
helps,
for me,
right?
it's like, I can have my guys in my kitchen teach, right? But I got a chance to meet Blake, and I'm watching him cook.
And I'm sure your input's welcome too. Here's what I'm going to be looking for.
They don't want to listen to me, man.
Well, we'll see that. We'll step into the kitchen. What do you think, Juan?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll go into the
All right.
kitchen. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Emily Griffith,
All right,
Culinary Quick Start. These are the guys right here. We'll be back in a flash on the Modern Eater Show.
Hey, you guys, Jay here with the Modern Eater Show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget about our YouTube and Instagram channels. A lot of killer content over there. Throw us a subscribe on YouTube. Throw us a follow on Instagram. And thank you for supporting TME. We couldn't do this without our amazing sponsors, so let's check them out right now.
Very proud to be part of the Modern Eater, and chefs, restaurant owners, any food service operators. I know right now that delivery and carry out is bigger than ever, and we got you covered. Cambro has a full line of delivery and carry out items. More economical options are expanded polypropylene or EPP, nice insulated container. The ProCard Ultra is really versatile. It's a great unit because you can actually store cold products down here, hot products up here. It's all 120. There's no refrigeration worries. It's all thermodynamics. Just let us know what your food service challenges are, what it is we can do to help you out, and there isn't anything that we can't do for you. So hope to see you over here at our facility in Park Hill soon, and stay safe out there.
Everybody, with several $1 million of hard assets here, insurance is very, very important to us. Ewing Levitt covers it all. Machinery, building, workman's comp. Ewing Levitt's got us covered from the floor to the ceiling, from our alley, even to the street. This divider, this press, my cooling conveyor, my oven. Ow, ow. Ewing Levitt covers our counter stacker and our employees too. If you need insurance, take it from Little Rich at Rockalitas. Call Ewing Levitt, they'll get you covered.
I go home, I strip down to my skivvies. All right, here we go. I got it. Hey everybody, Steve Gould from Golden Moon Distillery and Golden Moon Speakeasy. When I get my cocktails to go from Golden Moon Speakeasy, I go home, I kick back, and I watch The Modern Eater. Skivvies. Hey, I'm a Marine. It's skivvies, man.
Okay, Little Rich is in the house. That means all's well in the world as we come back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado. This segment brought to you by Elevation Food Service Reps and the best in the business. If you need to get your kitchen equipped with some great equipment, look no further than our guy, Rich O'Brien, and you can look him up. Go to their website, elevationfs.com. Okay, Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start. All right, so we just set it up beforehand. It's a great program. We have great chefs here with us. All right, so Chef Marcus, Chef Blake, you guys. And what we do is we catch up with you guys on Mondays and kind of look at, like, well, what's the week ahead going to be as people are interested in, okay, here's what the curriculum's all about. If you guys are interested in a culinary career, you just want to sharpen your culinary skills, you can join us. It's a gimme, free $99.
Right.
You can't beat that.
No.
And you get the certification of the SurfSafe certification. But sign up, get online to themoderneater.com. There's a tab on the top, and it says Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start. Get your career going today. Okay, guys, give us like the 30-second, here's what the program is, how long, and the whole,
So the program is just really a workforce development program. We prepare you for a promising start in the culinary industry as either a prep cook or, a line chef.
I love it. Today it is Chef Marcus and Silent Blake. Good to see you, Blake. He's on the mend, but that's what I love about passion. You come to work, you play hurt. You play hurt, and that's what you've done today. Thanks for coming and joining us here today. Chef Blake is going to be the handsome man behind the knife, and you're going to be doing all the talking. Let's just start here, man. Eggs and Juan. Social distance from the eggs.
I know. I don't need an I know. I am going to social distance from the eggs.
Which you probably should, but we are in the kitchen right now. One of the things is omelets, right? Are you going to start with the omelet? What are you
we can do a quick omelet for you guys. That's what we're going to be teaching is just basic egg cookery this week. Everything from like a poached egg, which we've done, to omelets a couple of different ways, and then your over easies, your mediums, that kind of stuff.
Take it away, demo style.
All right, let's do this. So, we're just going to preheat this non-stick pan here, and we're going to make a quick little like mushroom omelet. I got some really pretty looking.
They're gorgeous.
Gray oysters here, which we're just going to saute really briefly, and we'll saute those up with a little bit of red onion, and we'll throw some bell peppers in there too.
What's the most important thing, and whether it's, and I think it's consumer, omelets are an interesting thing because there's taste, there's aesthetics, there's, take us through an omelet of like, you make a perfect omelet. What consists of a perfect omelet?
So what we're looking for in an omelet is heat control. We're looking for that perfect color that goes onto the omelet, so it should be very light in color. It should have a fine curd, and it should have a nice shape to it as well. So you can tell a lot about the skill of a cook just by having them make you an omelet.
Do you like a fluffy omelet, or do you like something a little bit more thin and crispy and stuffed?
I like a fluffier kind of omelet. And I like an omelet that kind of oozes when you cut into it.
Yeah, same.
So right where this butter is about to change colors, we're just going to add our mushrooms here. And I like to cook all my omelet ingredients beforehand, just so we can pull out some of that moisture and it's not just going to leak whenever you cut it.
Yeah, make the omelet soggy.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll season.
So when you're interviewing a chef, when you're working in one of your kitchens, right? I know a lot of our guys, they talk about, like, I want to see if this guy can cook an egg, right? Like, that's literally, like, one of the number one things that our guys look for. So why is that?
Well, like I said, it shows that you've mastered a number of techniques. Heat control is one of them. And then I think being able to season everything correctly as well, that's very important. And it's just... it's something that's deceptively simple, I think, is making omelets. Yeah. So you can, you know very quickly whether or not the person you're interviewing can actually cook just based on how they make an omelet.
Got it.
So with omelets for me, and I don't know what's a classier way. So runny, I guess, but boogery omelets really freak me out. And
what does?
A boogery omelet. So, you know, you get the omelet and you kind of open it up, and the consistency is not throughout. Like the outside's got a crust to it, but the inside is just real runny, and I don't really know how to explain it other than boogery.
So you like yours a little bit more set?
I like it a little bit more set.
That's all right. That's personal preference, and yeah, we can make it however you'd like, Greg.
Do you eat when you eat eggs? Do you like runny eggs?
No, so I'm a sunny side up.
Right,
sunny guy. All right, so I like to make my omelets with 3 eggs per. So we're just going to crack those in here.
And for all those aspiring chefs out there, the profit margin in an egg is pretty good.
Take a look at this technique that he gets into. When he gets into the pan is really what changed my mindset the last time around. I was schooled on just the technique.
So what are you doing there? Did you just add some water?
Yeah, just a splash of water.
Okay. So some people...
You can add milk.
I was going to say, I add cream. Right,
Yeah.
so interesting. Why I've actually maybe not even seen water.
I haven't
before.
either.
Why water?
Just kind of loosen it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I've also heard that if you're trying to get like a crispier exterior, it paradoxically will make it a little bit more crispy. So we're just going to whisk that until it's all smooth. Again, we're just going to season it with just a little salt here.
Yeah. And Greg, you're noticing that every single step of the way. I think a lot of people forget that. He's seasoning. It's like super important.
Yeah, you just kind of layering those flavors.
Right.
And isn't that really just the meaning of seasoning as you go along
Well,
the
I mean,
way?
I think a lot of, I'm a big believer in seasoning and aggressively, personally. And, I think a lot of restaurants forget a lot of steps of seasoning. So,
what's your take on salt, Juan?
I like salt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, salt's probably the most critical seasoning.
Do you do it in the kitchen or at the table, though?
What do you mean?
Are you going to do it while you're cooking, or are you going to do it for taste?
There's finishing salt, depending on the dish. Yeah.
And when I'm making omelets, I prefer butter. You can use oil if you'd prefer, but I just like the flavor of butter.
Yeah. This isn't a diet cooking show.
No, it certainly is not. All right, so when we're also doing our omelets, it's important to make sure that we also have a plate ready, because that's going to aid us in forming the omelet. All right, so when it comes to the butter here, we're looking for melted, separated, but we don't want this butter to take on any color.
Which I do.
Which you do like?
No, I mean,
that's personal preference.
I don't
too.
really like that. I just am cooking too fast, and I look at the heat that you're doing here, and that's a good heat.
Mm-hmm. And just something a little bit above, like medium. These omelets should take, 2 minutes.
Here's where it gets real to me. What's his technique?
You get nervous?
Well, no. I
I'm
mean,
getting a little
I
nervous.
do it. I do it. Wait, watch what he does.
All right, so eggs go in, and the first thing we're going to do, it should sizzle. First thing we're going to do is just stir. Make sure we get
vigorously.
Yeah, so talk to us about that, because a lot of home cooks would allow that thing to sit, kind of get get a little bit crispy on the bottom before they started lifting the sides.
Sure.
And, yeah, so tell me about this technique.
This is going to create those curds that you can kind of see there, those ribbons of cooked egg. And the second phase of the omelet making is kind of redistributing that.
Right.
But what we're looking for is something very, very light in color. And we don't really want anything beyond a very, very pale yellow. So we're going to season it at this point. Notice I did it off the heat.
You don't want it to overcook.
Yeah, I don't want it to overcook.
Because it's still cooking right now.
Yeah,
off the heat.
exactly. So we've had a soft curd right now, and it's still cooking. So this is where we cheese, if you wanted to add herbs, anything like that. Just kind of make sure you're not overstuffing your omelet. I think that's another pretty common mistake as well. And it's moving in the pan, and you'll notice it's just barely setting here, just from that residual heat. So it's not going to be super sloppy when you cut into a Greg. That's the hope, anyway. So we're going to return it to heat, and then we're going to just kind of push it towards the edge there. And this is a little bit more color than I like, but I'm kind of talking at the same time. So we're going to just move this to the edge here, and then I'm going to switch grips. So I'm going to hold it like this, and then just flip it right onto our plate. And at this point, we can kind of just...
So that's interesting, too, because at home, again, you would, a lot of times, would just fold it, right? And then you're sitting there with your spatula, and you're trying to turn it over, and then you're overcooking it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a pretty good... there's a little bit of color here, but...
that's great.
Yeah, a nice omelet, good shape, and then hopefully when you cut into it, it'll be nice and tender for you.
Hired.
So we've also got some microgreens, which we can garnish it with. I like these onion greens. They have kind of like a very light chive kind of flavor. So we're just going to hit it with a little bit of that, just for a little greenery on top. And then let's see, what else do we have? Some mustard. Yeah, we'll just leave it as is, I think. But there you have it.
You guys are so talented.
Textbook omelet right there. What you guys have, Blake? I think we're going to do some potatoes and stuff, too. Cool. I'm just going to rinse this out.
The very talented Chef Marcus. Here comes Blake. Now, Blake is going to be not talking while he does this. We'll kind of do the play-by-play for Blake. And what are you looking for, Chef?
I got you.
There it is. He's got his
already crispy.
All right, you be Blake's voice, because you guys think a lot alike. You know what he's going to be doing next.
So kind of going along with our breakfast theme here. The whisk. I think Blake's going to whip us hollandaise real quick.
Yeah, so the thing I miss most is Eggs Benedict.
It's Eggs Benedict.
Yeah, one of my favorite things on the planet. I love a great hollandaise sauce. I love English. I love every element of Eggs Benedict. I love ham. I love English fries. Even if it was made with seafood, or even if it was a veggie Eggs Benedict, is so good.
It just doesn't love you, Juan.
It does not love me, and I am somewhat of a food masochist. I will occasionally partake, provided I have no company for a couple days. All right, so we got some hollandaise going here. So it looks like we got some mustard.
Yeah, he's just kind of seasoning it up with a little bit of mustard. The mustard's also going to act somewhat as an additional emulsifier in addition to the egg yolks.
Thicken it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it'll add a little acidity too.
Is that from the vinegar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Blake's got this bowl over what's known as a double boiler. It's just kind of a way of gently cooking eggs.
Yeah, and hollandaise is kind of a labor of love a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a little bit, and it's tough to do just like straight on the stove. You can do it in just a pot, but that takes a little practice, a lot of confidence.
There's so much going on right now. The heat manipulation, the spinning of the bowl, like a lot could go wrong right now. I would have the towel on fire. That would probably drop off of the stovetop altogether.
Yeah,
but
I think this is a little bit above your pay grade,
I
Greg.
think so, too.
Yeah.
I'll talk about
I will tell you that also one of the most disappointing things you can eat is an Eggs Benedict when the poached egg is not runny.
I agree completely.
Yeah, there is something
that is one of the worst things of all
satisfying
time.
about breaking a perfectly poached egg and the yolk runs all over the place. So what Blake's doing is he's kind of whisking this until it's going to start to become a little bit foamy, and that's when he's going to start adding the butter and emulsifying it. But hollandaise is pretty much all fat. There's a little bit of lemon juice in there, but it's
tastes pretty good.
Yeah, mainly just egg yolks and butter, which is why it's delicious. Greater than the sum of its parts.
I mean, yeah, that's why it tastes so good.
What else would you put hollandaise on?
I like hollandaise on asparagus. I love
Same.
it with crab
Yeah.
cakes. Make great one. I also like it with like fried green tomatoes.
Yep. Which are
something-
all like super comforty, delicious.
Yeah.
You know. And I think about, remember when we talked about the repertoire?
Uh-huh.
Like if you can make a good hollandaise, you can make so many things that much better. You know, so.
So what about meat, though? The difference between a béarnaise and a hollandaise?
So the difference between a béarnaise and a hollandaise, well, hollandaise is your mother sauce, and then you add tarragon, shallot. It turns into a béarnaise sauce, which you can put onto steaks.
Love that.
More crab, seafoods, that kind of stuff.
Who's making a good beef Wellington these days?
Good beef Wellington? I saw Frank Bonanno make one. That was pretty amazing during COVID. So.
Wasn't there a place on Colfax called Chez Jose or something to that extent? A steakhouse? Little Rich would know that.
I don't know, but I love
Chez Jose.
Wellingtons.
Damn, right on the burner.
And there
You don't see this one every day.
Do not try this at home. It's starting to look really nice. Smooth and...
Got Dr. Blanchette standing by. We'll get to him shortly in the next segment. I think he's watching us make this delicious hollandaise sauce right now.
Hoping to get back to dealing with people who are eating too much hollandaise as opposed to COVID.
So yeah, you can notice like the texture kind of changed. You can see
The
ribbons
color.
starting to form.
Yep.
It's so labor intensive. I mean, I'm not wrong, am I?
You got to work for things that are,
Yeah,
big.
okay, so you can make this in bulk, obviously, though, right?
And there's, if you're making this in quantity, I think I've made like a 20-pound batch before. Like it's a big batch. You can add stabilizers to it. I've heard of some like brunch joints adding like cream cheese to theirs to get it to hold temperature for a very
you
long
get
time.
that. That's when it gets like almost like pasty, though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that.
Hollandaise is also like a very textural kind of thing. Too.
Right, me too.
It should be very rich, but it should flow.
And it almost gets light cream colored.
Exactly.
When that happens.
Hey, chefs, Marcus, when you say you did a 20-pound batch, I'm picturing like a bowl the size of a Volvo, and
It's a huge amount of butter, and that's a lot of egg yolks too. So you just use like a carton of egg yolks. So Blake is just continuing to pour this in as he's whisking.
So Marcus, while we're talking about this, let's talk about the poached egg for a second,
Sure.
because a lot of restaurants are sous vide eggs.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that technique.
So sous vide technique works well when it comes to the yolks, but I think there's something to be desired when it comes to the texture of the albumin, as the white part.
Yeah.
So if I'm using sous vide, which is a very specifically controlled cook for your eggs, I'll often finish it in poaching water.
Okay.
Just to kind of set that albumin on the outside and to make the texture a little bit more desirable.
Got it.
I think sous vide's a great tool for doing a lot of eggs, like a huge volume of eggs, but you definitely need to finish to.
It's just like a hot topic right now. Everyone's getting a sous vide machine at home or whatever you want to call it. So bath and. Restaurants have been using that technique for years, and one of the most common questions we get is, can you teach me how to use that? Because it's definitely much more common with like meat and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
All right, nod yes or shake your head no. Is this coming together the way you want it to, Chef?
It looks incredible.
God, he's giving me the little wink, the wink and the nod. That means yes, it is coming together.
It's just getting nice and thick here.
Yeah, the color's beautiful. See how it's gotten from that like super like I don't know, loud yellow to this like creamier texture.
And there's no machine that can replace somebody to do this.
I've seen it done in a food processor.
Have you?
But results are not guaranteed. It's really hard to replace somebody that has skill and that can be kind of reactive.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you want right here.
Exactly.
And look at that. I mean, you can see right now it's really taking shape.
Yeah, look at that. And that's going to sit really nicely
nice.
on the egg and on the English muffin and everything
Yep.
like that. You know what I'm saying? So
The
texture's
term we're
good.
looking for is like nappe. You know, it should
Okay.
coat the back of a spoon, and it should kind of stand up on the plate just a little bit. Like,
Now-
it should flow, but it should definitely have a good amount of body as well.
Let's not send Juan into outer space. No, don't do it, Juan. Don't do it. What can go wrong? What it's gonna set. It's gonna harden. What are the things that can go wrong? Let me taste that.
So things that can go wrong: it's not seasoned correctly. You'll use too high of heat, and you'll scramble the eggs before you can achieve emulsification.
Delicious.
So I think that's probably the most common one, is just overcooking the eggs. You can also add the butter too quickly and not be able to emulsify it correctly. So you'll have scrambled eggs at the bottom and then just greasy butter sitting on top of that.
Now, this is one of many things that you will learn through the Culinary Quick Start program. Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start right here. I don't know whether you know it or not, but every Monday through Thursday, 3 weeks in a row. It's a great course. Again, it's a gimme. It's free to you. All you have to do is go to themoderneater.com. There's a tab at the top. It's a quick sign-up. And again, folks like Juan, you want to work in a great restaurant group, this is how you get in on the bottom floor. Now, obviously, you can go in and just start at the bottom and do those things, but to have a leg up in an industry that the floodgates are opening back up for, these are the types of things, Juan, that you take a look at a resume and you say, hey, listen, I know Chef Marcus, I know Chef Blake. And
yeah, now for sure, it's great getting to know these guys, and you know, when we had Chef Carrie Baird on the first episode, we talked a little bit about you know, what it's like when you're a kid in anything in life, and you've got like a celebrity chef, and you're like, oh, that person would never hire me. And she said, you know, I want somebody who's got a ton of passion and who has basic skills that I can work with. And that's what these guys are pumping out, and so you know, that's I think that's a pretty big endorsement from her.
We're trying. I mean, and I think your standard of living is so much higher, being able to cook for yourself and those
That's
around
right.
you.
Yeah, join these guys. I mean, again, it's in the evenings. It's, I don't know, about an hour and a half of your time throughout the week. It's very well worth it, but it also shows that you're taking that initiative to put that 3 weeks in your pocket, and you go in, you've got a jump start on it. So I encourage you, themoderneater.com. Check that out. You're assembling us a delicious breakfast here. Juan, I'd say third meal of the show, not the day, but...
Third meal and the day. I didn't eat, and then I got here, and in the last 2 hours, I'm going to eat three courses. Like, and I'm not talking about like, you know, fine dine courses either. You know.
So let's plate this up. While we're plating this up, Juan, talk about this gentleman that's coming up in the next segment.
Oh, my man. How are you, Doc?
Dr. William Blanchette. He's waiting for us.
Dr. Blanchette, I first got an opportunity to meet here on the Modern Eater show at the beginning of COVID. And we got some masks up to his folks, and he's been somebody that I've listened to when he's been on the show. He's always got really good advice, and his pulse is definitely on, you know, on what's going on in this COVID world that's so confusing to everybody. So it's just really cool to have a great resource like him, and he gives a shit, and he's up in Boulder, and he's living in a very, very, very incredibly difficult time for a doctor, and so we have a ton of respect for that, and it's just great to have him on.
We've taken the journey with him from 1 year, and really just a passionate guy, passionate about what he does, and it seems to transcend, obviously, with what he does, passion-wise. The doctor, last time we caught up with him, completely frustrated about how the vaccine process was going.
That's right.
Yeah. He's like, you know what, put these vaccines in my hands, I'll start getting it done. Right? So I'm really anxious to see. Let's catch up with the doctor. Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start. Encourage you guys, jump online, sign up for this program. But we're going to talk to the doctor next, and I'm really interested in seeing his take on, is there good news happening right now, or do I need to just pinch you, Juan?
I think we're heading in the right direction, but I'm sure the doc has some insight that we're going to want to hear.
Absolutely. Okay, Marcus, talk us through this.
All right,
it's plating time.
Yeah, just warmed up toasted some English muffins in a significant amount of butter. Just kind of seared off this ham and sliced up an avocado. Our poached eggs go on top, and then we're just going to hit this with a little bit.
Fancy eggs, Benny.
Fancy
avocado, that's right.
Where are you when I need
you? You want to impress your girlfriend? Make her this eggs Benny.
That's good stuff. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of restaurants around town that try and make it this good. This is good. And there's a lot that do a great job as well. This is a fantastic dish. You want to try it? How do I say no? Absolutely.
All right, I'm not even going to look at this because I'm so jealous. It's unbelievable right now.
So what we're looking for is, look at that egg right there.
The egg.
Perfect eggs.
If you do say so yourself. There's only one way to approach this baby.
Yep.
And that's just to go in and get a bite.
Dive right in there.
Thank you, gents.
Absolutely.
Look at this. Okay, Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start. The perfect eggs Benny. Let me get by.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Thank you, guys. Must be good while I'm sneezing. Okay, Jay, we got to take a break. Do we need to do anything to you?
Nope.
Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not the eggs.
It's not the eggs.
No,
Fantastic.
I think it's the onions and
everything going on. Okay. Take a break. We'll come right back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado. He's standing by. Doctor, where are you? We might need you for Juan.
Doc, can you Uber down here, please?
That's right. Breakaway, come right back, Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Dr. William Blanchett from Boulder Internal Medicine will be next. Thanks, chefs.
Hey.
A little sneak.
What's going on, everybody? This is Brother Luck from Lucky Dumpling, 4 by Brother Luck in Colorado Springs, and I am rocking with the Modern Eater. You're watching them, you're tasting them, you're knowing everything there is to know about Colorado.
Hi, Charlie from Brews Beers here. Our new Belgian Abbey 4-pack is a mixed package of the 4 core beers made in Abbey and Trappist breweries in Belgium. So we have a single, a double, a triple, and a quadruple in one package. Now, quadruples are the emperors of Belgian monastery ales. They're dark in color, with a dense tan head, and alcohol ranging from 8 to 12%, so they're pretty strong. Quadruples are very rich and complex with big maltiness, spice, and flavors of raisins, cherries, and plums. Alcohol is apparent in the mouthfeel, but not overwhelming, even at 10.5% ABV. So the finish is long, complex, and dry, and they're great beers anytime, by themselves or with hearty foods. Pick up your Abbey 4-pack at either Brews location, 67th and Pecos, or at Colfax in York, and at fine liquor stores throughout the Denver metro area. Take home some Belgian-style badassery today.
You're watching The Modern Eater, and now back to the show.
Yes, Studio Kitchen, Colorado, The Modern Eater Show continues. We're going to wrap it up, and this guy, he starts the show. He's in the middle of the show. He's ending the show today. It's long overdue. Juan Padró, Greg Hollenbeck, Dr. William Blanchett. Good to see your face, Doctor.
What's up, Doc?
How are you guys doing this? Punishing me watching that delicious food while I'm trying to lose weight here.
Yeah.
I think we're all...
We'll do a show on how to make a salad next time you come on. How about that? Or maybe you can come down and we'll sit down and break bread together.
Break some celery together, right?
That's right.
You know what? What strikes me right now is just that smile that's on your face. And I have to ask you, is that smile just because you're happy to see us? Or is it because there's some good things going on right now, Doctor?
Certainly happy to see you, but compared to the last time we talked, the horizon is a lot brighter. It's a lot happier right now. We're seeing cases going down and down and down. We're seeing the death rates going down. We're seeing the vaccination rates going up. I mean, we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. And also, if we indeed get everybody vaccinated who wants to be vaccinated by July or August, we're back in business. We're back full blown. We're so lucky that this vaccine is so effective that we're looking at a 95% reduction in clinical disease and 100% reduction in hospitalizations and death. So after you get the vaccine, it's like this disease doesn't exist anymore. So I have the vaccine. I can now walk into the hospital to take care of a patient, not worrying if this is going to be the last thing I do before I walk in the hospital to die. So that has lightened up my day some. I don't dread going into the hospital anymore. And a number of my vulnerable patients now have had the vaccine. Probably 3/4 of my vulnerable patients now have the vaccine. And so from their perspective, I no longer have to worry about what's going to happen in their case. So I see this continuing to improve. I'm really, really optimistic. The thing that I'm concerned about is the number of people who are not wanting to get the vaccine. And when you run the numbers, I'm not going to bore you with the math behind this, but when you run the numbers, we're looking at a binary choice here. You can either choose to get the vaccine or you can choose to get COVID. There's not going to be an in-between where we have herd immunity and you don't get either one. You can either get the vaccine or you can get COVID. And if you're tough enough to handle COVID, great. But there are some people who are going to die because they don't get the vaccine. So, but I'm so looking forward to this being done.
I read an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. On Sunday. I don't know if you saw it. Dr. Markey, who oversees medicine for Johns Hopkins, and he's not an epidemiologist. He said he talked to a lot of epidemiologists. He said about 50% agree with him and 50% do not. He's saying that we're going to achieve herd immunity by the end of April. How's that possible?
It's not. He's wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not. You have a disease that's so infectious, you have to have 75% of the population with immunity before you can have herd immunity. Now we have a variation that's twice as infectious, so we're up to 87% of the population before the math works out. And we're not certain that if I get vaccinated, maybe I can still spread it. Even though I'm not going to get sick with it, I might still be able to spread it. So where he comes up with this herd immunity by April, it's not based on any science or math that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think part of what he was saying was that that 3/4 of the country's had it. So, that is kind of where he's coming from. So between the vaccine and that, he's saying that he feels
there
like
has been a remarkable turn within the last month, even with the amount of vaccines that have been administered and through most of the elderly population. But we're seeing a combination of people that have had COVID versus vaccines coming together for this real aha moment of inching towards herd immunity. Am I over the target?
Well, I mean, it's been strange because they've said, like earlier in the summer, July 4th was a big spike. Then Labor Day weekend was a big spike. And you had all these things that were big spikes. And, rightfully so, Governor Polish was like, man, we're going to go into the holiday season. We're going to shut this stuff down for a little bit. We saw no spike after Thanksgiving. We saw no spike after Christmas. We saw no spike after they opened restaurants January 4th at 25%, and we dropped 75% 4 weeks after we opened restaurants. Yeah. So part of me is, we handled this wrong. We just drove people into small spaces at home with no masks and stuff like that, as opposed to being in more open spaces. Certainly, California, I don't understand no outdoor dining and driving people inside. But I mean, what's your opinion on that? Because it seems, is it just coincidence that this happened?
Well, there's so many factors, and the post-game analysis of this is going to be very interesting. There'll be more PhDs made on the post-game analysis of this than any other thing in our lifetime. But I think there are a number of factors. One factor is on Thanksgiving, the universities went home and haven't come back. And I think that bringing kids from all over the country into a university setting and having them spill off into the community is a huge way to get this virus going. And if you look in September, we had almost nothing happening. Universities opened, it did this, and it kept going up until they went home for Thanksgiving, and now it's gone. How much of this is simply the university? Might be all of it. How much of this is people falling out of denial and starting to wear masks? Now, what's the percentage of people wearing masks now compared to 4 months ago? I'm not sure, but it certainly could be. When you look at, once again, the math behind mask wearing, there's studies now suggesting these people who wear double masks may get 97% of protection. If that's true, if that 97% protection from double masks is true, if all of us wear a double mask for 2 weeks, this virus disappears. If all of us wear a single mask for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, this virus disappears. So there's so many factors. I don't think we can pin it down and say this is what did it, this isn't what did it. at the end of the day, I'm so relieved to see these numbers coming down. At the end of the day, I'm so relieved to see some of my vulnerable patients getting protection that I'm almost to the point that I don't care anymore. It's like we're moving in the right direction. This is a good thing. I heard it yesterday for the first time, and I believe it's true, that the CDC is going to say once you're vaccinated and you're among people who are vaccinated, you don't have to worry about masks because the risk of making each other sick is so infinitesimally small at that point that it's a done deal. But this is a much more optimistic position we're in now than we were a month ago.
Well, we didn't have any flu, right? And we had all this. People aren't really getting sick. I imagine a lot of that has to do with the mask more than even the COVID stuff. I mean, to have such a low rate of flu, and I get that it didn't. I know a lot of times, when I read about it, it says flu starts in the southern hemisphere and it kind of comes up to the northern hemisphere, and they were all quarantined. That didn't happen. But I have to assume that wearing masks is an effective way to fight off seasonal disease.
All respiratory diseases can be protected by, if my mask doesn't protect me from the flu. We've had studies of nurses taking care of patients in the hospitals. The nurses wearing masks don't protect them from the flu. But the person with the flu wearing a mask protects the people around them. Very similar to COVID. Very similar to COVID. Maybe if we wore double masks with the flu, that would help. I don't know. But yes, we've had a very, very light flu season. I've seen a couple of patients with influenza A or influenza B, but no season, no big flu season. So yeah, I think our behavior to control COVID is to control the flu. But COVID's going to be with us. I don't see COVID disappearing.
No.
I think COVID's a disease I'll be treating the rest of my career. And I'm just looking forward to the day that it's just another disease. It's not the disease that's shutting this country down.
But what's your opinion? I mean, should we still be should we still be wearing masks in big,
next year this time?
Yeah, next year at this time, going through the airport when you're elbow to elbow in line for Christmas, going home the holidays, should you have a mask on?
I don't think so. I think when everyone who wants a vaccine has had a vaccine, I think it's time to take off the masks. And there's a herd immunity argument to be made there, that if while I'm still having some level of immunity, I get re-exposed, I might be keeping my immunity up. There may be actually a value once we have achieved a level of immunity for everyone who wants to get it. You go ahead and let yourself get re-exposed and keep your immunity active.
I'm glad you're saying that, because I hadn't had a pimple in 20 years, and wearing these masks, I kept getting pimples.
So my lobby is that
hurt my love life, Doc.
In August, when everyone who's wanted a vaccine gets a vaccine, masks are gone. That's my vote. Now, I'm not saying that as national policy, but once everyone who wants a vaccine gets a vaccine, I fail to see what masks are adding to the mix at that point in time. I think it's time for them.
Okay, so here's
until then, even though I'm immune, I'm wearing a mask. I'm not going out without a mask for two reasons. Number one, I might still be contagious. Number two, we need to do this as a group. There's a social obligation here. Let's all pull together until this thing is gone. And if we all pull together, this thing will be gone in a hurry. My fear is we see that go down, everyone gets optimistic, we all throw our masks early, and we go back to where we were in early December. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, but we have so many people traveling to Mexico and going to Cancun and Playa and Cabo.
And Florida.
And anywhere in the South. They're not wearing masks.
Actually, you'd be surprised. There's
on the planes they are.
Yes, on the planes.
airports they are.
Yeah, not in the clubs.
Not in the clubs. But there are spreader events happening in the clubs.
Right.
There are.
Yeah.
And so as long as there's spreader events happening in the clubs, we are continuing this process. And I'm not as concerned about the person going to the club as I'm concerned about their mom or their grandpa.
Right. And that's why the vaccinations for those over 70 is so important, right? And those immune compromised. And the last I had heard from Governor Polis was that 78% of ICUs were people over the age of 70. And if we can get that segment of the population vaccinated, then we can start talking about opening things up. So on that note, the hot topic in restaurants is distancing and the 6-foot distance rule, because whether you're at 50% or 100% occupancy, your numbers don't really change in a restaurant because you have 6-foot distancing. Typically, a table is 3 to 3.5 feet apart. So if you have 6-foot distancing and they say you're at 100% occupancy, you're really at 50% occupancy. So the restaurants, our industry, is starting to lobby now for, as we start seeing better numbers, reducing this 6-foot number because, and a lot of doctors I've talked to, a lot of scientists I've talked to, we did an airflow study with engineers and scientists and health department experts, and they're saying that's an arbitrary number. What's your opinion?
Good question.
It's absolutely an arbitrary number. It's absolutely arbitrary. The further apart the better, but if you're in a closed space, to think that this water particle is not going to get from one end of the closed space to the other, we're kidding ourselves. It does. So it provides some value. It doesn't really provide ultimate protection. If we have the place ventilated, it'll provide ultimate protection. But being in a closed space is always a risk. It just is.
Yeah, there's no safe isn't the right word, right? Safe isn't the right word. There's always a risk, but yeah.
Yeah, so safer is the right word.
Right.
Here's my proposal, though. As the vaccines start coming out, if I can walk into a restaurant and show them my vaccination card that had both my vaccines, I ought to be able to sit anywhere I want and feel safe about doing it. And so how about having, instead of a smoking section and a non-smoking section like we did in the old days, we have a vaccinated section and a non-vaccinated section. And the vaccinated section is just normal seating. The non-vaccinated section will keep people apart and keep the fans on and stuff. And so we can gradually increase restaurants back to normal seating as people who use restaurants get their card. Why not?
So you have restaurant employees, you've got folks over 70, you've got immune compromised. I kind of feel like every kid under the age of 30's had it at this point because they've been partying. And, so, I mean.
You could be right.
Yeah, right. So, what's the danger of getting it a second time if you've already had it? Because it feels like a lot of people have had it. We did, that we did this testing center, right? I just saw, so we've had, our numbers are about on par. I mean, we've done about a little over 1,000 tests, and we're at, I think, like 4.7% positivity, something like that. So,
Doctor, just a couple more for you. I know you got to get back. So my mother, fully vaccinated, had the and my father as well in Florida. Are they bulletproof?
When you look at the studies, 95% reduction in clinical illness, 100% reduction in mortality, and essentially 100% reduction in hospitalization. That's as good as you get. There's nothing beats that. So they're as close to bulletproof as you can get. Yeah.
Is there an aha moment to where there's a date or a marker or a point or a flag that goes up to where it says, okay, everybody, burn your masks, take them off, go out? What's the barometer, Doctor?
I will give you my opinion on that barometer. My opinion is that when everyone who wants a shot has access to a shot and can get a shot and has immunity, so 10 days after their second shot, it's time for the masks to be gone. And I'm hoping that more people get the shot because this can be a very ugly disease. The frequency of it being an ugly disease gets less and less as we get younger.
Full disclosure, Doc, I'm 50-50 on it, man.
Well,
tell me.
Yeah,
I've had a hard. I don't know why I haven't been. I haven't seemed. I was in Tulum at Art with Me, and I wore my mask and I did all my stuff that I was supposed to do. My partner that I was there with got it. We slept in the same bed for 6 days. I never got it. All this stuff, and I'm like, all right, do I want to shoot metal and formaldehyde and all that kind of stuff into my system and do it when I don't seem to be getting it? I get the antibody tests all the time. I test twice a week. I follow really good protocol. So, and part of me is like, look, at the end of the day, if they're telling me I can't go to Europe, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten a flu shot in my life. So I'm one of those people that I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm just like, I'd rather everybody else get it before me.
And there's a lot more of you out there like
There's a lot of me out there.
Yeah. And in a way,
feel free to tell me I'm stupid, by the way.
And I'm happy there are people like you out there so that my kids can get the vaccine someday too. So if you turn it down, there'll be one more dose for my kids. But there are 22-year-old people who have blood clots in their lungs and blood clots in their brains from this disease. It can be a horrible disease at all ages. It's a lot more common as a horrible disease when you're 70 than when you're 40. But it can be a horrible disease at any age. And the vaccine has turned out to be remarkably safe. You know, we say it's been rushed. Yeah, it's been rushed, but we now have 40 million people in this world who've had the vaccine, and we're checking them out. They're in a 40 million person study right now, and we're looking for side effects. The incidence of repeat infection is pretty low. Incidence of repeat infection is very low.
Yeah.
It exists, but it's very low. It's just noise. And the people who get repeat infections usually don't get horribly sick. There's exceptions, but I don't think the repeat infections are our problem. Our problem is getting that first level of immunity. And I'd rather get it with a needle in my arm than from being sick and running the risk of not only dying, but the number of people who have long-term sequelae of this disease. And the crap that happens with this disease is pretty amazing. Your immune system, your autoimmune system goes crazy. There was a study out just yesterday looking at autopsy results of people who died from COVID, and they find megakaryocytes in their brain. Megakaryocytes are supposed to be in your bone marrow and make platelets. These cells left the bone marrow, migrate to the brain, and are clogging up the arteries in the brain. This disease sucks. You don't want this disease.
All right, so just get it. You're telling me just get it. All right, I'm listening to you. You're the doc. I'm going to get it. You changed my mind.
There
right
it
here
is.
in
You
front
brought
of
him over the
everybody.
fence.
You brought me over
50-50.
the fence. But what does this say about vaccines in the future? We just got this stuff out in 9 months. Now, I was in consulting before, and most of my consulting background is in financial services, but the last 2 years was in life sciences. And we helped companies get product to market quicker. And they get a patent, and it's 17 years, right? And you go through pre-trials, and then you go through your clinical trials, and then you go through your FDA approvals or whatever approvals, you know, and then you have to do all your compliance work. And, you know, you may get the drug out year 7 to 10, right? And then you have exclusivity for 7 years, and that's where you make all your money because it takes $1 billion in research to get Viagra out, right? So at the end of the day, what I want to know is, like, is this a scam? I mean, these guys are, I mean, it's a lot of money that we're talking about. No wonder why our drugs are so high. We're you know, I mean, would our cost of drugs go down significantly if we could reduce the amount of time and reduce the exclusivity portion that pharma companies have to put out things like vaccines?
You mean cut through bureaucracy?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So actually, that's a very valid thing. And if you got a couple of hours, I can give you the whole thing. But here's the thing with the mRNA vaccines. It seems like we brought these out in 9 months. Turns out these vaccines have been studied for 20 years. They have been working on mRNA vaccines to treat the common cold, also known as coronavirus. But no one could get excited about a new type of vaccine to treat the freaking common cold. And so it never got traction.
Oh, you're going to all the conspiracy theorists. I'm hearing them right now after listening to you.
I know. It'll be on Coast to Coast Radio tonight.
But the same spike protein that the coronavirus that gives a common cold has, the coronavirus that kills us also has. And so they had done 20 years of research leading towards a vaccine mRNA to make towards a spike protein. What this disease did is accelerated that and funded that. We started throwing billions of dollars to these companies, but most of the work was already done. They knew how to do it. Let's just stack these nucleotides on top of each other. Let's make the protein we need to make and see if this doesn't do it. And it worked. We got lucky.
So is the common cold going away with the coronavirus vaccine?
It'll probably go down dramatically. You don't hear this on the news because it's distraction. It will probably reduce dramatically. Yeah.
Last one for you. We'll let you go. Dr. William Blanchett, Boulder Internal Medicine. Okay, pre-COVID, I was planning a Wilt Chamberlain-style orgy party. Can I get in my calendar and schedule that party sometime in the summer?
August 20th.
What's that?
Doc, don't worry about it. Only one person showing up to that. There's been plenty of social distancing. So
you don't even have to worry about it.
I can promise you that.
That's right. Who's going? Just me and you, Juan.
Let me tell you what's not happening.
Doctor, thanks for your time as always. It's good to see that smile on your face.
Right, Doc.
And next time we talk to you,
Thank you. Check in with us this week, Doc, because all this information you just gave us, I don't want these companies getting a little nervous without you dropping all this knowledge on the public.
I know it.
You know what I'm
Sorry
saying?
about that, yeah.
He's the best
So make
of the
sure
best.
you're safe. And we're opening up a restaurant in Boulder in April, Ashkara. So I know you're on a diet. It's Mediterranean food, salads and hummus and the whole thing. I want to feed your staff, okay?
I'm there.
All right.
I'm vaccinated. I can be there.
Are you vaccinated?
I'm vaccinated.
Bravo.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Dr. William Blanchett. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Juan, what a show.
Yeah, man. It was awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Love having you here.
That was fun. He's a
as
fascinating
always.
guy to talk to.
This gentleman that walked in, he'd probably be like, Greg, don't say that. Tom Martino's here with us. He's a broadcasting, living legend, truly a centerpiece and a gem of the Denver market. Been longest running show here in Colorado or beyond, Tom. Country.
In the country, is that right?
Show it's the Troubleshooter
And you're from
show.
New York. So one of my high school teammates was from upstate New York named Tony Martino. Yep, played at Brown University after the gunnery, yeah.
Probably a million Tony Martinos.
I don't know,
And
maybe.
Tom Martino.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to Tom, and I have to thank you so much.
man.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
But definitely the Where Juan Eats will continue.
Sure, let me know.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, brother.
There it is.
Be good.
Juan Padró, Greg Hollenbeck, for Jay Parker, the whole cast and the crew. Taking off right away.
I thought you were kicking me off.
No. The whole cast and crew. Got to thank Jay Parker. Does such a great job. Today, just to do a little recap, Emily Griffith Culinary. Quick start. Got to thank Chef Chef Blake and Chef Marcus.
Yes.
We also have Chef Jeff Gebott that's here with his Hesher food truck.
It's been a while since I've eaten his food. Awesome. I'm
Ursula-
telling you right now, I'm going to say it one more time. That is one of the best sandwiches in Denver, that brisket sandwich. You need to figure out where. Hey, where do they find your truck?
Social media.
Yeah, but what is it? What's the social media?
So it's Hesher Barbecue Company on Facebook, and then it's at Barbecue on Instagram.
Awesome. We got to pump that out.
Our friend brewer Bessett. Thank you, Ursula Brewing Company. Go down there and take a look at that. Who am I missing? Anybody? Dr. William Blanchett.
Yeah, Dr. Blanchett.
Oh, and then Troy Gard for coming on the show today. Chef Troy Gard and the COVID Bandit who unloaded like $7,000.
How can we? Yeah,
on
I'm going to
this
either
set.
do a pizza joint with 3 employees. Somebody can
Or a high-end steakhouse.
Or I'm going to go to a high-end steakhouse, and I
With
walk
20.
in, it's 10,000 square feet, and there's 200 employees.
Great show. We'll see you back on Wednesday right here, 2 p.m. The Modern Eater Show will continue. Thank you again so much.
All right, man.
All right,
See
we'll
you.
be back Wednesday, 2 p.m. The Modern Eater Show continues.